Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sister Luv Squadcast. Today is part 2 of our analysis of the Christmas Carol movies.
Well, it's been a while. We meant to do this before Christmas, but things get really busy at Christmas time for us with shows and everything.
We have to say that we are very sorry that this has been delayed, but we were making rather merry last week.
Yes. So we're excited to jump back into it, and hopefully we have it fresh enough in our mind so we remember everything that we noticed about the different versions that we watched.
I think last time, because we went through all the musical and cartoon versions in the first episode.
Yes, we
So
did
on this.
all except for one musical version, and that's what we'll probably be starting with.
And we spent 2 hours on it.
Yes, it was a special,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah.
Christmas special.
Yeah. I calculated it out to a half hour per version we talked about.
So this might be a New Year's special.
Mhm.
So the version that we're going to get into is the 1971 musical version starring Albert Finney. Any opening thoughts about the version?
This was my first time watching this version, and I have to say that first impression going into it, I did love the coloring of the filming, and it reminded me right off the bat of Oliver.
Mhm.
I
It
can
had
see
kind of
that.
the same feeling as that musical, but the first thing I noticed is I felt like Scrooge was a little young, trying to not be as young as he was, which of
Yeah.
course they aged Albert Finney to play both the young and the modern day Scrooge.
Which is the only version we watched that did that.
Yeah. With me, I liked the musical score. And whether it was just the recording we watched, the music was overpowering the voices.
That was my problem because I really loved the music,
Mhm.
but I couldn't always hear the lyrics. So I would like to hear it with it balanced better.
All right, so thoughts on the opening scene?
Well, I'll give mine first. And I might just be being nitpicky. But if I were the director, I would have opened it with the kids singing and left that other stuff towards the end. It lost me. It's
Yeah.
like, this is going to be boring. The credits, I guess it was, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It didn't fit to me. But, that's a little nitpicky on that. It's not very long. But I just didn't think it set the scene as well.
It didn't snap you into it. Yeah, I can see that.
They didn't do the Marley was dead as a doornail. And I feel like it's wrong when they don't do that because it doesn't set you up with the right vibe from the beginning.
Well, that's like with the kids singing.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of put you right into it. And the way Dickens wrote the book, that's the first line.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I
Grabs
mean, you just get torn into the book,
Yeah.
Right.
and torn into the book, pulled into the book. I don't know.
Well, yeah, because it makes you want to know who is Marley and why is this important right off the
Mhm.
get-go. So I agree with that. I do have to say, even watching this the first time, there is a slowness to all of the scenes a little bit.
This is just me being kind of nitpicky. The book does not actually start with Marley was dead as a doornail.
It doesn't?
No, that's not the first line.
Well, I'm gobsmacked.
And I was always under the impression that it started with the Marley line. What does it start with?
No. This is what's different about it. We were both kind of right. The line, there was no doubt about it, Marley was as dead as a doornail, is later. It starts, Marley was dead to begin with. There's no doubt whatever about that. So they mix the first line and then the line later that says, you will therefore permit me to repeat emphatically that Marley was as dead as a doornail.
Okay, after that first line, is that where he says this must be emphatically understood or none of the...
Nothing wonderful can
No.
come.
Oh.
So they just condensed it.
Yeah.
But
So essentially, it does start with that whole...
Marley was dead.
Right.
Mhm. He does say Marley was dead as a doornail twice. So I was a little wrong, and
It's a little bit me, and it's a little bit you.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah. I know, like I said, I still need to read it because I'm going off of parts that I've read and off of the movies. But
Yeah, I haven't read the full thing either. So
Well, that brings up another issue. It's very important to read the books because movies only have a short period of time. They're going to cut maybe some essential things that shouldn't be cut, and it's important that you read and you imagine the characters before they're placed before you to just see, and you don't have your own idea. You can say if you like them or not, but when you read a book, you have it formed in your mind. Like when I read Gone with the Wind, and then it was reissued when I was a teenager.
They put it back in the theaters.
Right. And I don't know. It was Ashley failed. Now, because I had it pictured in my mind, and what he would look like and that sort of thing. But he was a heartthrob in the day, so that also put you down a different path.
What is his name? The actor. Because the actor was the heartthrob. I mean, Ashley was Scarlett's heartthrob.
Right.
But
I'm gonna have to look it up now because I can't think of it.
he's a junior. His dad played Sherlock Holmes.
I have
Leslie?
to look up.
Leslie Howard.
Leslie Howard. Yeah.
Yeah, Leslie Howard. He was a real heartthrob in that era. So, I
I don't know.
I didn't get it, but but here I'm going way off the story. I mean, Valentino was a heartthrob. I didn't quite get that. So,
Yeah, it's interesting the different times what people are drawn to. But
Drawn to,
your
yeah.
point is correct in the fact that you cannot unsee a movie once you've seen it.
Right.
So once that person has been cast in your mind and you go to read the book, it won't be the same.
I've done both. Like, I've read the book first and then watched movies on things, and then there's some stories that I've seen the movie first and then read the book. And I feel like it can go either way, because when you read a book, everybody has a different picture of what they're reading. Sometimes I prefer the movie's casting than how it's described in the book.
But doesn't that cause a conflict in you? Like, is it very difficult? You did say that you read Kidnapped after watching the movie.
Yes.
So when you were reading, did it still form people in your head, or were those actors just immediately placed in the roles?
So, because I've done this several times with different things, in my opinion, the movie is a good adaptation if when you go to read the book, you can see that character in the book. Because then that means that the movie is being, even if the scripting and some of the storyline has changed, the movie is being true to the characters that the author originally created.
So if you watch it and they weren't true, you feel that the writing of their dialogue would not match that person. Is
Right.
that-
Well, Kidnapped is a good example. So my favorite version is the 95 version with Armand Assante. And that is, I've only seen that and the Disney version. Not going to go too much into this because I've talked about it before. But when I went to read the book, the character of Alan Breck Stewart perfectly fit how Armand portrayed the role. There was no of this in my brain going back and forth arguing with itself of what the character looked like and what the character, acted like. It was perfect. So that's, even though the 95 version does abridge the book because David Balfour, is the sequel and they mix that into Kidnapped, it was true to the characters, and the characters are the root of the storyline.
Yeah. That's why I guess I need to read Christmas Carol, because we've watched so many renditions. It would be interesting to see which actor actually pops in my mind when I'm reading the book portrayal. That'd be kind of interesting.
One thing that's interesting about the story, and I haven't even read the full Stave 1, which is Marley's Ghost, but Dickens writes it like he's like telling a group of people the story. Like Barnaby Rudge was like you're reading a book. This is literally like Dickens is telling you. He answers questions. Like he says, Scrooge knew he was dead. Of course he did. So it's like someone has had a question and he answered it for them.
It's
It's
written
like
as
Santa
a
Claus is coming to town.
Yeah.
Yep. But anyway, we've kind of veered off of the Albert Finney version.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I love rabbit trails.
Yeah.
I
love
think
'em.
this is why people listen to our Squadcast. I could be wrong, but you never know where the conversation is going to take us.
It's true.
One of my first thoughts on it, and this is awful to say, Kay,
Mhm.
but if I were Scrooge, I would probably be a little crabby at those carolers too.
They were a little bit flat, weren't they?
Well, the other guy kind of was. I mean, he gave him money and he said Merry Christmas, but he said there'll be no peace on earth if you keep singing like that.
That is true.
They were almost caroling like they were being, brats. They knew they couldn't sing.
Mm-hmm.
They just wanted to get money. They're just going to go annoy people and get paid.
Mm-hmm.
This rendition is interesting if you really sit and watch it to kind of not pick it apart but analyze, I
Mhm.
guess, because it may not grab you or bring you right in at the beginning, but something I noticed is the Scrooge portrayal and how he's so protective of things.
Yes.
I haven't seen that as much in the other versions, but he is covering his money before he gets up,
Mm-hmm.
so Cratchit can't see it or whoever, he's the only person in the room.
Right.
He has everything locked away in a safe when we see the conversation with Freddie, who's named Harry in this. He just has that personality of all his comfort is in his riches.
Yeah.
And nobody can touch it.
Later on, he actually, I believe, goes to bed with money around his neck.
Yes.
Yeah.
He puts on a pouch of money to have on his chest as he sleeps.
Which makes him more of a fearful Scrooge
Mhm.
versus a hard and angry Scrooge.
Yeah.
Right. Afraid he's going to lose it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, on to Freddie, because he is always a key point in our analysis of the movie.
He's too old.
I kind of agree, especially with how young Albert Finney is as Scrooge.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he almost doesn't look like he could be his nephew.
I mean, he could be his nephew, but his sister would have had to have been way older than him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean,
And she could have been.
Yes.
I kind of like this guy.
oh.
Uh-oh, I got looks around the
You
room.
know what it is?
Mm.
He's just not as cute as the guy on Alistair's
We're all
Son.
shallow, yeah.
Mhm.
That's what it is. But what do you like about him?
He's so easy. He doesn't take any of his uncle's flack or anything, or his demeanor.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
It's true.
Now the others do too a little bit, but this one actually is amused at him in a way. Not in a bad way, but knowing that there's more to his uncle than meets the eye, and he's not going to be put into his life.
Yeah, I didn't mind the portrayal of Freddie.
Mm-mm.
I think the casting was off.
Because of his
Be-
look?
No, he looks like he could be related to him even. But if you have him that age, because Scrooge was technically supposed to be a father figure for Freddie, and that's where he failed.
He was supposed to take care of him,
Mm-hmm.
and he was still in school when she came to get him. From the movies.
Mm-hmm.
True.
So she could be way older.
Right.
And that would explain how he was so attached to her too. She could have been like a mother figure to him because his own mother died.
True. True.
So the age he's at doesn't bother me because he doesn't look that close to
No, he
Albert
doesn't.
Finney's age. I just liked his demeanor. He was just so easy about it, and you're not, uncle, you're not going to do anything. I mean, the others do that.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
But
they're a little more.
He had a lot more lines.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's
yeah.
true.
Yeah,
So
there was
than
more
the others.
conversation.
Yeah.
So the others might have been fine too. That gave him a little more depth.
The
Yeah,
others,
I agree.
like, this is the only version I believe that isn't really close to the book. Like,
Oh.
a lot of them quote line for line. Even Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Mm.
The one thing I do kind of agree that Freddie could be older is because when he's that young, say he's 20 to 25, that would make, when he was born, Scrooge is in his 70s.
Mhm.
Scrooge would be in his 50s when Freddie was born. And that's never portrayed that he's that old. Say Freddie's 25. If Scrooge is 75, then he would have been 50 when Freddie was born.
See what she's getting at?
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm.
You mean he would have been harder at
Well,
that point of his life.
He in the movies is portrayed as a lot younger, so there is a point here that they may
Right.
have been closer in age than we're assuming, is what you're
Because
saying.
it actually doesn't make sense having Freddy that young.
No, it doesn't. That's true. Because look at how young Scrooge, and when they portray him at the site with Fan. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, even if Freddy's 30,
Mm-hmm.
he would have been 40.
Yeah,
when he was born.
True. Like, we're obviously referring to Alistair Sims because that's the only one that has that scene.
Yeah.
true.
So
Has
that doesn't make
Freddy?
sense.
Oh,
It
it has
has-
when
yeah.
he's born.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't have that scene, then it could be that way.
Right. He could be that much younger.
But you're right. It's his older sister.
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere, it's his older sister, so it would make sense. Yeah. Okay, that's a
Not
it'll
every
be-
version, but
So it'll be interesting when you read it, see where she brings her into it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How old Scrooge is supposed to be. Because they don't really give ages.
Mm-hmm.
But you can kind of guess at the time
mhm.
of life and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And one difference between this Freddy and the other Freddys are trying to get Scrooge to be merry. They're putting out energy.
Mm-hmm.
And, and it's just hitting a brick wall. This guy was like, you know what? It's here. Do what you want with it.
He's
That's what you're
talking
saying,
more.
the
He's
ease.
talking more on Scrooge's level, like he's on the same level, rather than trying to convince my uncle of something.
Right.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's a different perspective on it. It's
Okay,
just-
what do people think of this Cratchit? Because I really kind of liked the casting for him.
I think his casting was pretty good. I also liked his reaction when, there's the part where he applauds Freddy, or in this case Harry. He didn't applaud, but he did chuckle.
he said, "Here, here."
Yeah,
Made a
that's
little
right, that's right.
remark.
Yeah, I did like how subtle that was. This is a much quieter version of the Christmas Carol. I feel like,
Subtle,
at least
yeah.
in the setup of it,
Yeah.
it makes you really pay attention.
Mhm.
All right, so are we ready to move on to the first ghost, Marley?
Yep, let's do it.
All right.
I don't mean to be, but the first time I watched it, I couldn't get used to Marley because of the way he was walking. And I understand why he was walking that way. I understand he
Mhm.
had the, chains bearing down, but to me it was kind of comical.
It looked like he was trying to walk like he had chains bearing him down.
Yeah.
Well,
don't
I
know.
kind of got the way that he portrayed it, like it was supposed to be like his spirit, like his spirit floats and is free and can fly and stuff, but it was chaining him down with the gravity of it. So I get it. I feel like it was more of a stage performance
Mm-hmm.
rather
Mhm.
than a cinematic performance.
Yeah.
I also have to say, well, first of all, I didn't really like the ghost scene. I mean,
The
that-
phantoms in the sky.
Yeah, mainly because the point of that scene is to show these souls can't help someone and do good, even though
Mhm.
they want to now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They see the error and they're forever living in the regret of how
Yeah.
they live their life.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't really show it with just these spooky masks and stuff. I didn't really understand.
Although he did say, and this ties into later on in this movie, in his song, which I think Alec Guinness did a pretty good job. It's a different take on Marley, but he did use the same tone for everything he said. So you really had to pay attention. And with the song, it was like he was going between that and wanting to actually sing it. Like he couldn't quite make up his mind. But I noticed some of the lyrics he did say, these are the inhabitants of hell. And that does tie into later. They make a bigger deal about Scrooge going to hell in this version.
That whole scene was a little bit confusing to me. He didn't seem to be really in pain. And when he took him out to see these gruesome flying whatever, he started singing, kind of, and making it a little bit more lighthearted. I don't know. I didn't think the song fit the actual.
There was
either.
Go ahead.
There was absolutely no I didn't feel any pleading from him.
Mm-mm.
Like he was actually trying to help Scrooge. And he wasn't convincing that this was actually a person one time. You know what I mean? It's like he got the role and he was like, now it's my turn to be a ghost. It's like you're trying to be a ghost, not Jacob Marley.
Right.
Yeah.
His spirit was, it was like he was trying to portray somebody that was dead. You know what I mean?
And scary. And then he broke into this kind of weird song. You didn't catch that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
was like-
weirdly laid out.
It was like
Like he was singing a goofy song. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it did give that vibe. Like, I see what your point is, Kaylee,
Mhm.
about he couldn't make up his mind between talking and singing. But the way he did it, he started kind of like singing I don't know, nursery rhyme was almost what it
Right.
was.
So I don't know a lot. Like, I haven't done a ton of research on Sir Alec Guinness, although I do know some stuff about him because I'm a big Star Wars fan. So I've read some quotes and things. And he wasn't a method actor, but he did take his acting very seriously and studied his characters down to the minuscule details of them. He thought that Obi-Wan Kenobi was a stupid role and Star Wars was a stupid movie. He just did it because he needed the money.
To be honest, that is my favorite role of his.
I know.
I've watched a few
Mhm.
things with him in it, and that is one of my favorite roles.
No, you haven't seen him in Bridge Over Road Quite.
Yeah.
We
we
started
started
it. We
it.
haven't finished it, but we did start it. I mean, he's a good actor,
Mhm.
but my point is with the Star Wars thing, if he thought that was dumb, the layout of this whole scene, I think, would have drove him nuts. And it's kind of how he portrayed it. Like, how exactly am I supposed to make this work?
to me, most Marleys play it kind of like the rich man in the parable about Lazarus and the rich man,
Yes.
that he had begged to come and warn Scrooge and give Scrooge a chance, that he actually did care about Scrooge
Mhm.
as much as Marley could. He acted like he never knew Scrooge and he was just sent to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he did, don't know about in the book, but he did care about Scrooge because the way I'm looking at it from another movie and the fact that the remorse and the regret was tearing them apart and they would have to suffer through that through eternity, that wasn't in this character.
No.
No.
It's true. So
Even
I don't. I was warned this was going to be a scary part, anyhow, and because there were things in it that frightened certain people.
It's me. I'm a big wimp. I
She's
know
got
that.
a tender little heart.
I know that. Well, the mask gruesome thing, I didn't like that. I just didn't like it. It didn't really have a point to me, except that they were trying to be scary.
It was
Well, it was funny to me. It became funny because here's these gruesome. I mean, they get right in your face.
Yeah.
And Marley was singing this.
It didn't work. None of it worked.
didn't work. And Scrooge was totally confused.
Yeah.
Yes, I did get that.
He didn't get what is this about except for scaring me.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I have to say, in contrast to, I feel like the failure of the portrayal on Alec Guinness's part, Albert Finney did pretty well in responding.
Yes.
Mhm.
for
'Cause
what
he
the
c-
script was. Yeah, that was natural.
He
to react
kind of
like that.
responded how I would respond, like, what the heck is really going on and what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
That's not true. You would not respond that way.
No, you
Well,
wouldn't.
I
You
wouldn't.
would
No,
be
that's
under
true.
your blankies and
Yeah,
going,
yeah.
You would be freaking out.
Yes.
Okay, let's say a normal human being.
And I gotta say, the first time I watched it, I thought the spirits, if you will, were a little too freaky too. I mean, it was better this time. I guess it was just shocking to me. Like, why did we need to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Because in the book, Scrooge recognizes some of these people. He knows some of these people. It doesn't say that a lot of them are throwing money to the woman with the child, but one in particular who he knew in life is. He watches him go down and try to help her.
See, that's important in pulling the message along.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It is.
So
The
I don't.
one
It doesn't
part-
bother me when they do the multiple throwing or
Yeah.
anything, but I think they do need that.
The one part that made me chuckle, and I don't know, this would probably be the director's, I don't know if it was in the script or not, but was where Scrooge asks Marley if he can sit down, and Marley says, I can. And he pulls the chair over and then ends up sitting on thin air anyway.
Yeah, that is kind of funny.
I mean, that was
Yeah.
something, but I feel like the little things that they put in like that didn't match with how Alec Guinness was portraying it. I also didn't think that he had enough on his chain.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's not enough like boxes and things weighing it down. And it when he got raised up and was floating in the air, it looked like you couldn't see the full thing because like the end of it was half there. I don't know. I think that most versions do like a overlay of Marley in the filming of it, where they film Marley separately than Scrooge actually.
True.
And then they overlay it. This one, it's like he acted it in person, and then they put a effect on top of him, which made his performance look cheesier. I think because he was actually there instead of making it more ghostly. That's the effects point of view, not necessarily his portrayal of it.
And
I
another
can see that
thing
point.
I didn't really like was he said, now I don't know if it's in the book or not, mankind was our business.
Yeah.
The line, I think it's
That's
he
one of my
says,
favorite lines, so I'm
"Was
really-
my business."
Yeah.
I think it's was my business.
Yeah, my business.
Because he's warning him so he doesn't become like Jacob.
Right.
Mhm.
And they left out one of the best lines of the whole story. I'm sorry. He did the whole spiel about the food, but he did not say there's more of gravy than a grave to you.
Oh, he didn't,
He
did
did
he? I
not.
was
And that
waiting
is
for
like
that.
one of my favorite lines.
Because he's getting so, like, snotty to
Yeah.
not be scared.
All right, yes, in the book he says business. Mankind was my business.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he even said it like that. I think he just said
He
mankind
really-
was our business.
He really mumbled it.
Mm-hmm.
I know that's like a key part.
Yeah, we were kind of hard on this one, I know, but I have to say that this is probably my least favorite portrayal of Marley out of them.
The one note that was interesting, though, he didn't lock the doors until he heard Marley walking up the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
But they also waited a little longer before they made that. But once Marley left,
Mm-hmm.
it was locked from the inside.
Yeah, that was
They did make a
interesting.
point of that.
That
the
is
door,
in the book.
the door was locked again
Mhm.
from the
He
inside.
goes to check the lock.
Yeah.
And then he says humbug, which I found interesting in the book. There's one Scrooge who says hum and stops. That's what he does after, because he's like, it's locked. That didn't happen. Hum. And then he stops.
That's how they do it
That's
in the book.
It says he only got to the first syllable.
All right, so next ghost is Ghost of Christmas Past. Okay, so this one I feel like the costumer made a bold move in the way that she costumed the Ghost of Christmas Past, and actually whoever casted the role, because it's much different than what you usually see.
In a way, I kind of like it. At least the first time that she came on, like, it's kind of shocking that she's so normal. Like, I prefer, I think, the childhood kind of portrayal.
Kind of like Mr. Magoo's
Like Mr.
version.
Magoo. But
Yeah.
this one, if I'm just removing all the other versions, I think it's kind of fun.
And she does a lot of the portrayals don't have as much sass. I know that the one in Mr. Magoo does, but I like that aspect of this one.
She's very motherly.
Mm-hmm. And she's got that attitude like, you better behave.
Yeah, I love her attitude. I think, and she did an amazing job for being that different of a kind of Christmas past.
Well, this is one that I've heard, the way it's described in the book is impossible to cast in costume. So you kind of have to do your own thing with it anyway. I want to know your opinion on the costuming and everything, Linda.
Well, I like the costuming. She didn't seem too ghost-like to me like the others.
Right.
So, but, the Christmas present is not like that. So,
True.
yeah.
And they did have that line leading to that.
I thought that
in the
was good.
beginning.
He
He
said,
said, "You don't look like a ghost," and she said, "Well, thank you."
yeah. Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I like her outfit.
The interesting aspect with how they made her more tangible too is the past and the present is something that you can access and has some substance.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. And she is grandmotherly in a sense.
Like, get your act together.
I also I have to make a comment that there are versions that play this two different ways. He's already starting to have his conscience get to him. When
Yes.
the kids were caroling and he says, "Oh, I was just thinking there was, a boy I should have given money to."
And that is in the book.
Yeah, I think that's important. There's certain versions we've discussed where he doesn't until the very end, or maybe we haven't discussed them
I don't
yet.
think we've discussed that one yet.
So I like that, where we start to see his conscience getting to him.
I don't know if you kept him in the scene long enough to. I don't,
It was more they talked more about the other children.
Yeah.
They focused
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
Mr. Magoo,
Yeah.
he has this soulful song.
I know.
know.
I know.
It's hard to beat that scene.
It is.
Yeah, it's hard to beat that scene, even if he doesn't have enough fingers.
Yeah, because that's one thing I know we already talked about Mr. Magoo, but because they had to cut out so much to put it in a 25-minute movie, or is it an hour? But they still cut out a lot for Mr. Magoo.
Mm-hmm.
That was the perfect way to portray the conscience thing.
Yeah.
Was that song.
Did you want to bring up Fan, the younger thing, if you want?
Oh, we did do Elsie did some research in the book here, and apparently, per our discussion earlier, Fan is actually younger than him.
Like, quite a bit younger.
So
That
that was
make-
kind of surprising.
Yeah, that makes sense for the younger Freddy thing.
But on that note, you're going to have to read the book and tell me why his father doesn't want him at home. because-
Researching, it doesn't even say his mother died. It just says his father is much kinder now. That's all it
Interesting.
says.
Yeah, because even in Mr. Magoo's, we've been bringing him up a lot lately. It's dad, mom, sis.
On the chalkboard.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have to see when you finish reading it if it's mentioned at all.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to Fezziwig's Party.
I thought it's mainly a song that they
Mhm.
used to portray it, and it was kind of a fun song. There was a lot of dancing.
And Fezziwig was very jolly.
He
Mhm.
was.
Mhm.
I had a note about that.
When
Yep.
I first saw him, it kind of threw me off because I didn't feel like the look of the guy was right, but he portrayed it perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The wife was different than normal, too.
Mhm.
But she was good.
They somehow pulled it
Mhm.
off. Yeah,
Mhm.
I thought so. I love this version's relationship between Scrooge and Belle.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the only version that portrayed Belle as Fezziwig's daughter,
Yes.
which I thought was an interesting take on that.
Is that the truth?
Go to the book
no,
expert.
she is not his daughter. She actually isn't even in the Fezziwig scene.
Oh, really?
They have the Fezziwig scene. They talk about the dancing, describe everything, and then the spirit takes him immediately to. He's older.
Mm-hmm.
It says older in his years, so probably in his late 30s to 40s, and it takes it to this scene which we just watched where the breakup happened.
Oh, so they don't establish the relationship really.
Mm-mm. And that happens, and you don't even know her name. You just see, young maid, and it says young maid or something like that. Like, not like crazy young, but younger than him.
Well, I think that Dickens was altered correctly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm being a
Mhm.
critic of Dickens right here.
Yeah, it does establish the relationship
Yep.
better, and you get to know her. Her name isn't mentioned until the next scene where the spirit takes him to see her now,
Mm-hmm.
which she's married with children.
Is
That is portrayed in the Patrick Stewart one.
Is it Belle or Isabel?
It's Belle. Freddy's birth is never mentioned
in the book.
in the book.
Interesting. Yeah, I love some of it might be the fact that it's from 71 and it has that feel in the coloring and the song. I love the happiness song. But my favorite part, and I know I've talked about this a lot, is the breakup scene when she has pretty much the dialogue that's in the book and the other renditions.
Mm-hmm.
And she places her ring in the scales
Yes.
and then the money. And the money, of course, weighs more, wins
Mhm.
out. And he does not look up from his work till that clinks.
Yep.
And I just think that was a very poetic and bold way to make the statement and physically show what is taking over his heart.
Mm-hmm.
I have probably a very unpopular thought, okay? But I didn't like his acting in their relationship.
Hmm.
He looked he didn't look like he loved her through the whole thing.
Mm-mm.
He didn't look at her hardly. He maybe looked at her once during that whole scene.
Yeah, I thought that was the same. He looked like he was starting to get not bored, but other interests.
Yeah,
'Cause
she's saying
she was always coming to him.
right because
Mhm.
she's saying this whole song about how beautiful his love is, and he didn't hardly even look at her.
Even in the dance scene, she went to him.
Well, that was explained because the ghost asked Scrooge, "Why are you not dancing?" And he says, "I was never taught how." And then Belle comes up and asks him to dance one of the slower waltzes.
And I don't have as much of a problem with the dance scene. I thought he looked,
Like they cared about each other.
like they cared about each other. But once it got to the in love scene, I guess I didn't see any love in his eyes because he barely even looked at her.
I got a little bit that he was cold towards love or didn't quite know how to show it.
Yeah.
Like it's just like he wanted to be able to accept what she was giving him, but it's like he didn't know how.
I agree. I think that was kind of intentional, and what I really liked about it is it showed a contrast, and he realized what he gave up and how he should have treated her.
Yes.
This Scrooge, this future Scrooge, is like, you are an idiot, chase her.
How many times would you say that to your
Your
past
past self.
Yeah, your past self.
Oh my word. I
Yeah.
know. Yeah, I liked that. And I as it went on, I liked the portrayal of this ghost. She's so like, why did you do that?
Be quiet, I'm listening.
Yeah, I like that.
All right, well, I think we are on to the ghost of Christmas present.
I love him.
I think he's the best. I like his quirky little. What did he say about when? Or was that the other one that said about when he was saying good for them and good for you?
Yeah.
That was funny.
It was funny. I think it's when he goes to look in the window at the Cratchits and he says, well, will I be able to see... Oh, yeah. Am I free to go and am I able to see what's going on inside? And he said, yes, which I think will be quite good for you.
Yep.
And then Scrooge said, but will they be able to see me? And he says, no, they won't, which will be quite good for them.
Yes.
I did like the scene that he was peeking through the window
Yes.
instead of actually in the room.
They do that on the Mickey's Christmas Carol version.
Oh yeah,
And I think that's the only other one where they're just looking through the window at this part.
That's a good picture there of it, though, because Scrooge is always on the outside
right.
of the joy
Mm-hmm.
peering in.
And I did love this Cratchit.
Yes, I do too. I think he is one of my favorite Cratchits, and the family interacts so well together.
Yes.
The only thing is they didn't give the invalid side of it too much.
Yeah, they do a little bit more earlier in the movie, though, if you'll remember,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
Bob takes him home and everything.
I think, in fact, and I could be wrong because it's been a while since I watched that scene, since we're reviewing what we watched before, I think that he even says, who made lame men walk and blind men see, when he brings him home in the beginning.
Yes.
you know,
Because
so
he's
yes.
waiting out. Isn't this the one where he's waiting outside when Bob gets off work?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. So they made that focus earlier instead of at the party.
Mm-hmm.
I loved this Mrs. Cratchit because I judge a lot of these off of the delivery of, I'd like to give him a piece of my mind to feast upon. And I thought she delivered it very well.
Yep, I really liked how they were all gathered together, gonna toast and, pray before the meal and that. And once he brought up Scrooge, she got in a tizzy and started doing other things.
Well, everybody set down their cup. That was funny.
I think, actually, in the beginning of this one, I'm not sure if... I think he does go home with Tiny Tim, but the sister's also there with Tiny Tim
Yeah.
in the beginning.
One thing I gotta say, I think the costuming of this ghost
Mm-hmm.
is brilliant because normally there's a larger person, or in the Muppets rendition puppet. Normally it's giant-like, and he's not really that big, you can tell, but the costume makes him look that big.
Yeah. I thought really good staging on that because even the way they arranged the cups, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He has him tasting the milk of human kindness. And the way Scrooge is holding it is he has both hands at the bottom of this huge cup, but it's proportioned correctly for the ghost. So it's the little tricks that show you he's bigger than life.
Yeah, there's a lot of forced perspective there.
Yeah.
They used that trick actually a lot in Lord of the Rings when they were making that movie. There's a ton of forced perspective with Gandalf and the hobbits. Like they had huge cups for the hobbits to make them look smaller, but a normal size cup for Gandalf.
Yeah, I think if I'm going through all the versions, this is the one with Albert Finney's portrayal. It's very interesting how Scrooge gets so caught up in it, in the joy and in it having fun at Freddy, or in this case, Harry's house.
Yeah. And the funny thing is it seems like at every one, he wants to make sure that he actually can't be seen or they can't see him. And once he has that confirmed in his mind, he's free. And he can act however he wants, which is how it is portrayed in the love sequence that we were talking about, where it's like he had it inside, but he could not let it out and show.
Yeah, true. He's always wanting to hide.
Yeah.
Well, we all do that to a certain extent, have a self-protection.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's happened since the garden.
Yeah.
I did like that scene also. It was more real. And in this one,
Which one?
the
party.
Freddy's party
Freddy's
or
party.
Harry's party.
Yeah. And how he was he was getting so much into the game.
Yes.
And then Harry
Yep.
Harry goofed it, and he says, "Oh, you were always stupid." Or
Yes.
something. So he was actually having fun in that, which was kind of foreign to him. And then they reveal that Harry's wife is actually Isabel's or Belle's daughter,
Yeah.
which would then you could see that why he is resentful.
I really like that aspect.
But you know, the other ones, it was portrayed that she was just poor.
Yeah.
So that could be
And that's a tie to Isabel as well.
True.
In a way, because she left because he disdained her being poor, even though he didn't realize it. Yeah.
No, I like this ghost.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was funny, and he also had a spirit of celebration about him.
Yes, he did
Yep.
such a good job. And one note, costuming wise, that I absolutely loved. I loved his hat or his crown of holly.
Holly and Ivy.
Yes, because usually, it's just, I mean, it's big, but it kind of looks like he has a wreath on his head. This was like the ultra exaggerated version of that with icicles dangling off of it. I mean, I loved it. It matched the whole spirit of him.
Now, of course, I can't tell with the black and white. Is he always green?
Every version that's in color, I believe I've seen, he's green.
I think so too.
Because I always pictured
No.
it red. So, that would make sense with the Santa Claus thing and everything.
Mr. Magoo is pink.
Oh yeah, it's
He
like
is.
pink and white.
He's
It's
like a light
which
pink.
is probably supposed to be like a light red.
Are you sure?
form of- yes.
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 He's not green.
He's pink?
It's
Well,
like
that's starting to become the fashion here. This
Uh-huh.
last Christmas, they had a lot of pink in it.
Yes.
Which, I love pink.
I loved it, because Mr. Magoo's Christmas Carol followed 1960s color scheme instead of
Yep.
traditional color scheme, which I loved because it added a different kind of contrast.
Of course, when I watched it, all I had was black and white TV, so I didn't.
Didn't get to see that contrast.
I was I was one of those poor children that didn't have.
And the only other version that isn't in green, I think, is an American Christmas Carol with Henry
but
Winkler.
that one kind of is just honorable mention.
I think back on having a black and white TV. In fact, I never had. Our family never had one until us kids left, and then Dad decided to get a color TV, which I resented. No, I'm just teasing. But I can't imagine people not having some sort that they don't like the black and white.
Yeah.
Because it does add something to it. I don't.
We're going to
know.
go on a rabbit trail here.
I know. Yeah, well, I'm the queen of it.
I love it because you brought that up. And before we had started this episode today, we were watching something on It's a Wonderful Life.
Right.
in the making of it, and how Jimmy Stewart was so angry that they did a colorized version.
Yeah, it ruined the aesthetics. Is that what
Yeah.
I want?
Mm-hmm.
And the depth.
The depth of it. Yeah.
Somehow there was something. I mean,
I have a perfect modern day example of it.
mhm.
Okay.
It's when they remastered the movies for Blu-ray,
Mm.
for Blu-ray DVD. I highly recommend not using Blu-ray because when they do it, you can look up the comparison. Don't take my word for it. But like, for example, Cinderella,
Mhm.
Disney's Cinderella, the original version. You look at the Blu-ray version versus the original animation. It takes out all the details of the art.
Mhm.
There are fine details that the Blu-ray erases and takes out. Frankly, I think that should be illegal because it's messing with somebody's art.
The work they
Mhm.
put in.
It's like desecrating the artist's work.
Mhm.
So it's the same thing with the colorizing.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
it can be done well. I'm not
Mhm.
saying that, you can't do a good job, especially with modern day technology, but you're always going to lose something because it's not what the original product was and not the original vision and intent.
Especially with how much work they had to put in to make it look good in the black and white filming. Like we were talking about the other day, the actresses now, I'm not sure about if Donna Reed had to do this for It's a Wonderful Life or anything, because it was more of a natural makeup, but for like Ginger Rogers in the black and white movies and a lot of the actresses, they had to wear different shades of makeup that in color looked weird. But in black and white, it was so perfect. The shadowing, right? Or Adam's Family. That house was actually lime greens and hot pinks.
I
Really
al-
cute house, actually.
I almost feel like we have lost something in having both available. I mean, I appreciate color too with like, I mean, look at when Gone with the Wind came out. That was,
I was just thinking of that movie.
yeah, that needed to be in
Yeah,
Technicolor.
they needed to
Yes.
see that green
Mhm.
dress.
You know,
Yep.
it made for what they were trying to portray.
Right.
However, you look at a movie where they used the psychology of it in Wizard of Oz.
I was just
Mhm.
thinking
They
of that.
actually used the sepia black and white to show reality, which made a burst of color in Oz.
And that is incredible when you see it on the big screen. We went to see it before, and
Yes.
it is so different than just watching it on your TV. If you get a chance, go see it. I would love to go see it in the Sphere in Las Vegas. I know a lot of people are going to see that, and it's like an all-around experience. But it was made to have that major effect when she walks into Oz and have just that awe moment of that much color.
Yeah.
Yeah, black and white is important, and color is important, and it's important that we watch both.
And understand how different colors affect you and shading. I mean, we've
Exactly.
lost so much art in just depending on the modern technology.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you lose more in high definition.
Yes.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
see, it's almost like now, and I've seen a change in it. Not so much anymore, but the past few years, you go to the theater to see new movies, and they're black and white in color.
Yeah, they're using color filming, but it's all grays.
So it literally looks like a dull, almost to the point of black and white, but there's still no life in it.
It's dark.
Yeah.
It's all
Mhm.
dark.
Yeah, that's the thing. The black and white movies are not dark.
Mm-mm.
That's like on Top Hat, Ginger's dress that had a big hoodoo about. That's another story. Is a light. She got to design it, and the designer wanted to know what color do you want it, and she's like, I want it a light blue with no hint of green. And she said the color he picked to draw it, was perfect. Was exactly what she had in mind, and that was like a few seconds later. He just picked up the color.
Well, I am happy that I see the color trend coming back,
Yes.
and the grays and the blacks and all that are going where they should be, which is accent.
Yes.
Mhm.
Exactly.
I especially noticed that over Christmas, people wanted color, and it does something for, especially for children.
Yes.
Well, do you
I-
ever notice that, there's been major trends of teens having depression issues and anxiety issues?
Mm-hmm.
And look at how teens dressed in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of color and everything. And then 90s, it kind of started with the more denim tones and
black.
darker. Then, early 2000s, you got a little more color back in. But then after that, it's all been gray and black sweats.
And brown.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I would love to know the psychology of take a week and wear only colors, only bright colors, and see how you feel.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It does matter.
Yeah, and put a lot of color in your homes. You just look at the parking lot. That's what I was noticing when, I have a gray car, a silver gray car, because that's all you can buy.
Right.
Okay. Every car is that color.
Mhm.
Maybe one will stand out, but it's not really. Yeah, they are coming back with some color, and we all drawn to it.
Yep.
I want McDonald's or whatever to be back to their color.
Yes,
Exactly.
And Taco Bell and
Yeah.
All those places
Yeah.
that they just,
Even Walmart. And if we have a young enough crowd listening to this, meaning Shelly's age, they won't remember it even like me and Xena did. It had it was blue and a brownish, like a beige kind of brown, and they had that big yellow smiley face everywhere. Now they changed that into the star now. But I see so many like reels of, and you don't even realize it changes. That's what's the weird thing, because it happens so slowly over time. But going to Walmart was an experience. You walked in, the greeter would give you a sticker as a kid. You could go get free cookies. You could go look at the live lobsters. I mean, there was so much going on, and you had access to that. It was like, it was an experience, and you don't realize how much you lose.
yeah.
Well, I'm glad to see that it's coming back. People are rising up to bring it back. People are bringing color back. So
Yeah.
let's keep with that trend.
Now, if we can just embrace old movies, I hate to say old movies, movies in the past,
Classic movies.
classic movies, and classic books.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I mean, actually read it. It does help your brain to actually have the sensation of turning pages and actually reading the words
Mm-hmm.
instead of flipping through the phone.
You don't realize how that impacts and changes your thinking. Like, I have set aside my phone more. The squad gave me Wuthering Heights, which I've been wanting to read for Christmas. And the fact that I have to read a sentence and stop and look in the dictionary, which I'm not using my phone, I'm looking in a dictionary to understand the word. It changes the whole meaning that the author's trying to portray. And the more that I read it, the easier it starts to become to understand the way it's worded. It gives you a picture. It's almost like watching a movie as you're reading. It's described so vividly. So yes, it's important that just because it's difficult at first, just because you may have to take it sentence by sentence, keep doing it because it retrains our brains.
Okay, now the rabbit trail gate is closed.
All right, so I think we covered everything with Ghost Christmas Present, unless anybody had any other notes on it.
Just that it was a great rendition.
Yeah.
Liked the way it flowed.
They didn't bring in the kids yet. did
No, they didn't do the kids, but they did do the aging thing, where the ghost, like when he first met him, he had kind of reddish, blondish brown beard and hair, and then by the end he had white hair.
Right.
They talked about the brothers of Christmas pasts and all that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't. He didn't give any prelude. Is that what I want to say to the
Next ghost.
next ghost,
No.
which they do in every other one, I think.
And of course, in the
No.
book, ignorance and want are there.
The
Right.
children, yeah. That's what we're
But
talking
unlike we're gonna see in the Albert Finney version, he does not go back to his bed. It
In the
is
book.
the normal way they do it, where the fog comes and then there's the ghost of Christmas yet to be.
Right, he does go back.
No, he doesn't go back to his bed.
In Albert Finney?
In Albert
He-
Finney, he
yeah.
does.
Right,
yes.
right, that's what I mean.
Yeah, the one other part that always sticks out to me is, are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses? And you have to have the children of ignorance and want in order to have that scene. But I think that's really the Ghost of Christmas Present's time to shine in the haunting way.
Right.
So to cut that out, I disagree with, because it also builds you up to the next ghost. And that's where, if he doesn't go back to his bed, usually Scrooge goes running because he's terrified and runs into the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Be.
Yeah, I like that better.
It's much more haunting and gives more shock about the next ghost.
The reason it's important to have the are there no
Mm-hmm.
prisons, are there no workhouses, is that's driving home the part where he's realizing this is his responsibility that he has
Yes.
caused.
And it's his response to it. It has been the mindset he's had.
But see, that scene wasn't in this one.
Where
No.
he said, yeah, are
That's
there no
why
prisons?
it's lacking. He's already lived the past. He is living the present.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not as scary because he's there.
Right.
It's now he has to go to the future, and he does say that. That's when he's most afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's what I was saying about the tangible.
that he needs it from the present to say, listen, this is something you can't control
Mm-hmm.
unless you do this,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and acknowledge
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
The handoff is important. I get what you're
Handoff
saying.
is important
Right.
to see the want and the ignorance.
Yep. And
Mhm.
that line, the are there no prisons,
Right.
is this is where you're at right now. It's no different. We just watched for New Year's Eve, we watched the Back to the Future trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's how what keeps happening is when an event happens, it changes the whole course of the future.
Mm-hmm.
And what the Ghost of Christmas Present is saying is this is where you're at right now. And from this point, this is your future.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I get what you're saying.
Because he hands him off to the.
Mm-hmm.
Right. With
Mhm.
putting back in his mind after he's been through all the, having fun at Freddie or Harry's party and all that, he's forgotten who he actually is right now.
And in the future, he might change something, but unless he sees it, he has to see it as really his,
Right.
because he's placed himself outside of humanity.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
can
the
see
Ghost
that.
of Christmas Present shows, especially when they look through the window. He's placed himself outside humanity. Like you said, it's like
Mhm.
he's looking through a window at humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Mm.
Yep.
But he isn't quite getting it yet.
Mm-mm.
No.
And how he gloats over it every time and says, yes, I should have a toast to me and that.
I know, and that's something in this one that he really, and I think you're correct because there isn't a handoff and stuff, but he still is not getting that he's the one at fault. And this next scene that we'll talk about really shows that he doesn't realize the travesty of his actions.
Right.
Yes.
He's only getting little sparks of it, like,
It's
oh, I
like-
should have given that kid some money.
It's
But
like a reverse It's a Wonderful Life.
in a way, right,
It's showing what his deeds have done to harm people.
instead of help.
Yeah. He isn't really seen, like I should have given some money to that person, but it really isn't touching him that people don't like him.
No,
Mhm.
he's not getting that.
Mm-mm.
That he actually is a bad person.
Yeah. All right. So, what are the thoughts on the portrayal of Christmas Yet to Be, Ghost of Christmas Yet to Be?
I did have a note that he seemed the least scary of all the
Mhm.
versions, and I think that's because, as we just discussed, the handoff wasn't there.
Right.
It messed up the flow, putting him back in bed, and then him coming out to see this ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And I love where they started to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
I do love the thank you very much scene.
Especially for a musical,
Mhm.
because as we saw in the Kelsey Grammer musical one, they tried to pack so much into that song that you almost lost the impact of everything that was going on.
I liked that it summed up the climax of showing how delusional he is in this
Mhm.
version.
Mm-hmm.
That he did not realize the gravity of his actions and thought people would love him. They didn't realize they were rejoicing over the fact that he died
Right.
because so many people owed him money and he showed no grace.
Mm-hmm.
So the entire time he's that oblivious.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was an important scene, but then I think they had to rush too much through Tiny Tim.
I had a note on this Christmas Yet to Be. You gotta have the drum.
Oh.
I think you had that note on like every other one in our
Because
last
they don't have the
episode.
drum.
Yeah.
You gotta have the.
Yeah, because you talked about this in the last
Yeah,
episode.
this is the one I wrote the note on.
Mm-hmm.
When he nods, it adds to. It's like he's speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And in the book, it's supposed to be that the only way you can really tell it's an actual form is because it shows his hand.
His hand is all that's shown.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can tell there's a hooded figure, but the hand is why you know there's something there other than darkness.
That scared me as a little gal.
Just the hand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
that was hard for me.
Are you talking Mr. Magoo's?
Any of them.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was. I love when I was watching the part where he's so delusional.
Mhm.
Um, it's like, oh my word, how much are we like that?
I was thinking
I
that
know.
too.
You know, it's like we're not seeing reality. I do not want that. I
That's
want
me
to
too.
know what the Lord's reality is in everything and
Mhm.
not, fight it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, he honestly, they were dancing on his coffin and he
Yes.
was rejoicing
Yeah.
that it was so, everybody just loved him.
He had no idea.
And that's really sad until he met his own, even with Tiny Tim, it was sad. But,
Mhm.
and, he kind of felt little things throughout the
Mhm.
time of the other
Mhm.
ghosts. But he had no clue he was going to hell.
Right.
Well, it's
Yeah.
the heart of man.
Right.
Because all of us think we're going to heaven because of good deeds.
Right.
Mhm.
And he didn't even have any good deeds and he thought he was good enough.
Yeah.
Right. That's the
Mhm.
comment he did make to the Ghost of Christmas Present when he first said, he was saying, my brothers told me you'd be a miserable person, but I didn't think you'd be this miserable. And he's like, I'll have you know that I'm one of the most generous. He really believed he was generous.
Mhm.
He
This
wa- you
Scrooge
know-
did.
Yeah. This Scrooge really believed he was generous and like a good guy that everybody, yeah, I know.
And it goes back to, again, the love scene. That makes perfect sense then in his personality. That he probably thought he had given her response.
Right.
Mhm.
True, because when she came in to break it off, he was surprised.
He didn't
Yeah.
believe it. He's like, what are you talking about?
But there was nothing he could give back to her.
Uh-uh.
Yeah, it's really sad. I guess this is the second time we're reviewing it. We watched it again to get
Just certain scenes, yeah.
a different perspective on it. I really did not like the hell scene when I first watched it, but now that we talk about it in light of that, I think because of the way they arranged it, you had to have something to give him a wake-up call.
Right.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I'd have done it in that way because I didn't like Marley's.
Marley was absolutely overjoyed that he was in hell.
Yeah,
I
that
know.
was surprising.
It
Well,
didn't make
that
sense.
doesn't surprise me once you're there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no idea and I do not want to have any
Right.
idea.
Uh-huh.
But
There are
I-
aspects of the hell scene that I can get why they did it. First of all, they didn't have the selling of his bed curtains and all that to show how cruel that was.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't have the people who he saw every day when he was at the stock, exchange, talking so flippantly about him.
Mhm.
So you had to have something to segue into how much people were callous about him. And I think that's what they were trying to show with Marley and Hell a little bit.
And the only thing I think that they drove home the point was that he finally realized he was going to be alone, chained, and the icy coldness that he showed everybody else.
which is what he is.
Right.
He's alone and he's chained to
Yeah.
his money
Mm-hmm.
and
And he's cold.
he's cold. He's a cold-hearted person.
Mhm.
So
It is.
Yeah.
It's theologically kind of sound in the way they portrayed it because he got exactly what he asked for.
mhm.
Yeah.
He really did.
Mhm.
And yet he was also being punished by what he did to other people. He got put in Cratchit's position in an icy cold office by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's an interesting perspective. They totally took an out of the ordinary spin on it.
I guess it was the coloring that kind of bothered me.
I
It was
think so too.
Bright
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, it didn't look like that bad of a place. You know what I mean?
Even though he acted like it.
Well, yeah, it was just too. I know they were trying to depict hell in the fiery furnace,
Mm-hmm.
but it could have been done with more dark around it.
I agree.
I think so. Yeah, because it looked like I get the ice part too, because it looked like a lot of ice, but it looked like something that would have been on like Star Trek. It didn't look like somewhere so dark. You know what I mean? There was way too much light in it.
Right, and
Yep.
color, yeah. Even
There-
though
There are multiple different ways you could have portrayed it. There is a movie that I think only Shelly and I watched. Is it just you and me?
I think so.
It's a Disney movie,
Possibly Elsie.
I wasn't here.
and it's called The Black Hole. Kind of disturbing movie, to be honest. And in the end, it shows hell. And I'm like, if that would probably be a better description of how they should have portrayed it. If you've seen the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, I'd say go watch the movie for an analytical experience, because it's interesting, the whole storyline and the way that they depicted it. It's been a while since we saw it.
It's just like something you're looking on Disney Plus and you don't expect it to be that dark of a movie.
Yeah, no, because it just looked like a Disney, sci-fi one from the, I think it was 60s or 70s.
Late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, that, that's been lost in the vault. And we're like, oh, we'll watch this one. And we're like, okay, that has a lot more to it than we thought it was going to. But anyway, it probably had a better depiction. I agree. It kind of looked like a Star Trek place
It did
rather
look like
than
a Star Trek set.
rather than hell.
I'm going to say for the writing and layout, though, because we were comparing last time musical renditions, this would be much better for stage than the Kelsey Grammer rendition, which I
Yes.
know is on stage. But I feel like all the scenes that they picked could be portrayed well with the music on a live performance stage.
I agree with you on that because that's what it seemed like the
I'm
whole
going
time.
to disagree a little bit. I think it would be great on stage. But I feel like this one translated better on screen than the Kelsey Grammer one did.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I don't like the Kelsey Grammer one at all. So that, and
No, I
that's
know.
kind of...
Okay.
I know, I'm sorry. I got
That's okay. That's okay.
But what I'm saying is they were trying to... That one is on stage.
Yes.
The Kelsey Grammer rendition, which he didn't write or anything. I'm sorry to put his name with it. He was the main. He
The
did a
Alan
good
Menken
acting
version, if you
Yeah,
want to.
he did a good acting job. But I feel like this rendition, if I were there watching it, lends more to theatrical depiction, staging, music. It would have good energy with the songs.
Well,
if
the
you were
one
watching it live.
problem we had with the Kelsey Grammer version was the songs did not move along the storyline very well. And this one does.
Yes.
It really complements the storyline very well.
Yep. What was your opinion on that the Ghost of Christmas Past turned into a skeleton?
I hate those shock things, and that was like when they saw the ghosts. So it's like you don't need to do that. You could have put out a bony hand and been better.
To me,
You
it
know.
actually cheapened it in a way.
Yeah.
Because
Because it looked phony.
right.
It looked really phony, yeah.
In fact, that whole scene kind of, well, like I said, it looked kind of phony.
It did look phony. That was my problem with it. And even, again, the acting in it, I felt like the whole scene was, we have to get another scene with Marley in it. To me.
Well, he didn't act very frightened.
Scrooge?
He didn't, no.
Yeah, it's like, okay, now I'm here.
Although I'm telling you, he's been oblivious through the whole thing.
That's true.
Like, he
that's
didn't even
true.
realize where he was.
Yeah, Marley was kind of like, where do you think this is?
And he said, well, I thought I'd go to heaven. And Marley's just like, you're an idiot.
One thing, when they depict the end of the Ghost of Christmas Past, that's scary. I almost prefer how they do it, like, in Mr. Magoo is probably one of my favorites. Because in the book, it says, Scrooge is in distress here. And it says, the finger pointed from the grave to him and back again. And he says, no, spirit, and no. The finger was still there. And then he has his line, am I beyond all hope? And it says, for the first time, the hand appeared to shake. Assure me that I may yet change these shadows you have shown me by an altered life. The kind hand. He says kind. He calls the ghost of Christmas yet to be kind. Says the kind hand trembled. And then he promises to honor, and he grabs the robe, and it melts away into his bedpost. So when you depict it, like, it's supposed to be intimidating at first, but when he is so changed and so in remorse that he honestly wants to, you see that it's just mysterious, you know? It gives the spirit, because it does depict that in Mr. Magoo's. The spirit, I don't want to say cares about him, but
It's
like,
not malicious. It's just there
Mm-mm.
to show him.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought that was interesting how Dickens took it, and it's still intimidating, and then it was a little less, and it said kind. That word really.
Yeah, because that didn't show. He didn't show any remorse. Even when he went to hell, he didn't show any remorse until he got stuck, chained.
Got chained. Yeah.
And remorse, I don't know, or just
Afraid.
Fear and
fear.
There was
self-pity.
another part though, and I'm trying to think. I think it was with the Ghost of Christmas Present. He did say some of those lines. It's been more a throughout. There's been little sparks of remorse.
Right. Well, he had the Tiny Tim conversation where he was still trying to be cold and say, but is he going to die, you know?
Yeah,
And he
yeah.
argued with the Ghost Christmas Present, and Ghost Christmas Present basically finished it on if he should rather die, he better do it and decrease the surplus population. Just
Yeah.
left him with his words.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think what they were trying for, although I'm not sure it came off in the acting, I think what they were trying for was to say that all his bad actions culminated in that room in that moment. And it finally hit him. I think that's what they're trying to
Yeah.
do. But emotionally,
He finally made the connection.
from me watching it, and again, like I said, if this were on stage, it might do it. You might be able to pull that off some way on a live stage and be like, okay, because you have to have more of the visual effect of it. But in a movie, you needed more of the human interaction to display it, display the remorse.
On a theological note, you know, we face that we are not a good person. All of us need to realize what the cross and our Savior did for us. And heaven isn't for people who are good, because there's no one good in us. There's good aspects like generosity and all that. I'm not saying that people can't be kind, obviously. But it's not, you need to really realize that, as I think he did, realize that his life was not his own, that others had a, you know, a more higher power, if you will. They portrayed it with the ghosts, and that has dominion over your life. And we as human beings choose whether to believe in our own goodness or believe that we need salvation.
Right.
Yes.
And there's plenty of proof for that. So, and I find that people are maybe not hearing that true message.
Because I think that's why I love that scene so much when he's saying thank you very much. That is the heart of man, when we believe in our own goodness.
Yes.
Like, we really do believe that our actions are the sincere measure of good, and Paul says in the Bible they're filthy rags.
Yeah.
In God's eyes. Well, I think it was definitely a quick finish in the sense that they had to have him turn around very quickly, which he did. And he seemed very cheery. I think because they went from the angle of him protecting all his money and all his work and him finding the worth in that, it made an impact when he threw his accounting all over the place.
Yeah. All the
Something that he had
scrolls and
stacked
stuff.
and surrounded himself with, because he found that was not where he could find joy. And I feel like overall the end was a Broadway finish.
I like the idea that they used the same song. Thank you
Yeah,
very
I
much.
like that they used they used that, but they started the ending what would be bows on on stage. They started it with "I Like Life," which is the song that he sang with the Ghost to Christmas Present.
Because at first he was saying, I hate life and life hates me. And he made that turnaround, yeah. There's nothing like a good reprise.
I know.
Just makes it. Only thing that I have to critique at the end, which I didn't notice the first time, that is kind of sad. Now, correct me if anybody else heard it. There was no God bless us, everyone.
In the whole movie?
No, not in the whole movie. Not at the dinner with Cratchit.
Yes.
Was there?
in the
Tiny
song.
Tim did say, God bless us, everyone,
Yes.
when they toasted at the end, but he said it very quickly and not very
I think it was
Tiny
in his
Tim-ish.
song too.
Maybe
Maybe.
in the song,
Yeah.
but
Maybe.
yes, he did say it.
I
But he
like
didn't
it
at the end.
ending on that. That's
Yeah.
my,
And I like the fact that he started to stand up straight.
Yes.
He was always bent over.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And
Scrooge.
yeah.
Yeah.
And in the once he, realized that he had a chance to redeem himself, which bothers me a bit. But that's kind of the theme of the whole. Dickens would have, I don't know if he was a Christian or not, but
Yes.
he did
Yes, he was.
write it. Well, then, you see, because he did write it in that vein.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think this is the only version they were trying to edge a little bit away from it.
Right. But it just was amazing that people are like it, the same song with different circumstances means something totally different. How dark and
You're
morbid.
talking about the first time "Thank you very much" was sang.
Yeah, it was. No, it wasn't morbid. It was
very crass,
crass and
flippant.
flippant. That's the word I want. Thank you, my dear.
Very much.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, they were rejoicing over death,
Yes.
and they used the same song to rejoice over life. Which
Yes.
is I thought that was really nice.
It does show, none of the Christmas carols give the. Well, there is one where he does end up actually going to church, but none of them give total credit to the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And I think part of that is there does have to be a conscious decision on the person's part.
Yes, because you just can't. He can turn his life around and be philanthropic, but that doesn't change the heart.
Right.
Really, you're still thinking you're good.
Right.
So, but it does lean towards self awareness more. So he did know he had to change that. That the other was not making him happy by any means. But they did have. Here's the funny thing about that: they don't actually say about that you to truly change, you have to be saved, through salvation. But they do put in that you can go to hell if you're bad.
Yep.
Isn't that the truth? That's what I thought.
It's like, no, you have to be born again and have a whole new humanity, if you will.
Yeah.
And
And there
that-
is a line in it's with Tiny Tim where they talk about the Christ child.
Right.
The
The one who made lame beggars walk
Right.
and blind men
which
see.
was said earlier.
Well, as long as there's a nod to it,
Yeah, I agree, because that's how Dickens would have wanted it. I thought the whole thing with how they took the ending, I guess you'll never know, but we can't today know which version Dickens would have approved.
Right.
And I think that would be very interesting if you sat him down and watched them all, what was closest to his intent.
Yep.
The one thing that I found interesting when you're saying with the "Thank You Very Much" song, and I know I'm getting deeper here probably because I always dig to find deeper meaning than maybe is even there. But
Do we believe that, girls?
Oh, not at all.
but because what he did was evil, which it was, he was holding them accountable to something they couldn't do. He wasn't having mercy on them. So that was the evil side of it. In both realities, the innocent or the person who was being harmed was set free, had relief.
Yeah.
But if you're going from the Christian perspective, it was his death and the removal of him that gave them relief. Whereas on the flip side, when he decided to change, he got to be part of God's work and set people free. He actually got to be the one who got joy out of it as well, instead of just you have to be removed because you're not going to change your heart.
Right. It's kind of like what Mordecai said to Esther when he was telling her that she had to go plead for the Jews before the king.
Right.
He said, God's going to save the Jews no matter what. And if you don't do it, somebody else will. And you're going to die with the people anyway.
Right. So that's what was interesting to see.
This wasn't done.
If she didn't plead for them, yeah.
He got the gift of being part of it.
Right.
In the end.
Right.
It's the difference between, in the one reality, there had to be a sacrifice of self. I mean, the one was just taken out physically, and the other was him not loving himself.
Right.
And loving someone more than himself.
Right.
So my only thing, and I kind of got it this time too, with because they took so much time on the hell scene, I think it made the end scene seem a lot longer than it was.
I don't know.
I got that
think
the
it was
first
a
time when I
good-
watched it too. It's like I loved the end scene, but it felt like it made it a 3-hour long movie.
Well, I mean, scene is disturbing anyhow.
Yeah.
So, if it's disturbing to you, just like the ghosts are disturbing to Xena, it makes it a lot longer, and you don't know when to take your fingers down from your eyes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And you're processing that into the next scene.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So, you don't fully grasp, oh, wait, now I'm in the,
And
happy
Yeah.
sequence.
And this is a musical, so you can't, we're analyzing it in regards to it not being a musical.
Right.
Mhm.
So it's a little bit more lighthearted in that, where you think that maybe it should be, a little bit different.
Yeah.
So you got to look at it from that perspective, and I think they did a good job.
Mhm.
At first, when I first really watched this movie, the whole thing was like, oh, I don't like it. But now that I've watched it a second time, I kind of like it.
I do too.
It's the way they put it together. There are a few things that I would say don't do, but by and large, it's kind of a, I don't want to say fun, but enjoyable movie.
It is, and I feel like the changes they made to Scrooge's character in this version cater more to a musical setting than the Kelsey Grammer version.
Did, yeah.
Like, because if you make him that, it's hard to grasp Scrooge's full character when you have all the musical numbers and stuff. It like
Right.
doesn't flow. But when they changed him to be almost childlike and miserly,
right, delusional.
right, it fit more in the musical sense.
See, I think in the beginning, the first time I watched it, I didn't like
Harry?
No,
Alec Guinness.
no, he didn't really bother me.
Alec Guinness?
Yeah, no, because in light of the musical, attitude of it, is that the word? He was kind of silly.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
He wasn't as dramatic, so
Right.
I think it kind of fit with the movie. But for some reason, Albert Finney
Mm-hmm.
bugged me. I don't.
As Scrooge?
Yeah, and maybe that's good.
Yeah.
I did not like him
Yeah.
In the beginning is what you're saying.
in the beginning. Yeah, I didn't like him throughout the whole. It's like, quit being such a big baby. I don't know.
Yeah, he was like that. He was more of a whiny Scrooge, other than just grumpy and crabby and doesn't like the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He did whine a lot.
Yeah, and I just didn't. And maybe that's because I was, once you watch a couple of these, you're measuring in them,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
to the one you like.
Mm-hmm.
Right, right.
But this was totally different way of portraying it. So you can't really compare the two.
Right.
You'd have to compare musicals.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah. So,
Overall, oh, go ahead.
I didn't mind him in this one as much. I think he was trying to look old.
Yeah, there was a little bit of
The
that.
first time I watched it,
Yeah.
that really bugged me in the counting house because he was overdoing his voice and the way he walked and everything.
Yeah.
As the movie went on, he got comfortable and backed it off, I thought.
Yeah.
Well, you never know what order they filmed it in either.
Because although I have to say kudos to the makeup person because at first he just bugged me and I thought, what are you trying to act like?
Yeah.
When I realized he was playing the young and the old, everything made sense.
Right.
Yeah, his
Yeah,
makeup
it's-
looked.
His close up as an older person was very natural.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
looked
I
like
didn't know that he wasn't that age until you saw young Scrooge.
It's like, how'd they do that? I want some of that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not the
it's-
old one, the young one.
Yeah.
So rewatching what we did, I do like his portrayal because it is different.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like your typical Scrooge, but it's an okay rendition. As far as the ghosts, I loved the Christmas present.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked the Christmas past.
Mm-hmm.
The Christmas future I don't know, it just felt typical and uncalled for, some of the things.
It's weird how that can be lackluster.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the lackluster one. And I haven't changed my mind on it. I don't like Alec Guinness in this role. It might just be my opinion, but see, I think he was a little over dramatically
Well, he didn't act like he liked.
underwhelming.
Yeah, he didn't like the role.
I didn't gather that he
Mm-mm.
did.
No.
So.
But you know what they should have done? They should have done a little bit more of the sequences with Marley Young. Now, they would have had to make Alec Guinness look younger, which would have been interesting because that's more the age that he was. But you could have made him more believable had you given Marley somewhat of a personality like that in life and showed that that's who he was.
Yeah, I could see that.
It would have given you a little more balance to his character. But before we close out on this one, I think this is the only Scrooge, correct me if I'm wrong, that we've seen that slides down the banister. I don't know. Does Mr. Magoo? He might.
No.
No?
No, he looks at a statue and thinks he's well dressed.
Does Scrooge McDuck? I think he might.
He might.
Does he or does he fall down the stairs?
I don't know. I think it just goes from his room, he leaves, and then he comes out.
I think he runs, yeah.
Yeah. One thing on that, though, it didn't make sense to me, and this is like a tiny detail.
Mm-hmm.
He yelled out his bedroom door, which leads to the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Okay? No, I didn't understand that. If he was going to say that, he should have said it out the window in his room.
Okay, so this plays into something else he was telling me about the book. In the book, he does not have a whole house. It's like an apartment, which kind of looked like what they were doing more here.
Because it was more narrow.
Right.
Yeah, same with his counting house. He's just a part of that building.
Right.
His office is just a part. His office is just a part of that building.
So that would make a little bit more sense, him hollering out into the hall.
Yeah, I didn't know if he was trying to say it to the spirits or what. It was confusing because that wasn't established.
And one thing I have to say, I love the song. My favorite song of the whole musical is "Thank You Very Much." I know it's a little crass, when they first, but I love the scene. I love the music. But it's a good Broadway song when they have to whisper it at one part.
When they get quiet.
When they have to get quiet and build it up. Yeah.
Overall, yeah, if I could be in the play or see the play on stage, I would love the ending. The reprises were great, and it tied it all together.
I would definitely watch this one again all the way through. It's a cool twist on it.
Yeah, I would too. Although I find myself with two thoughts as it's going on. Wait a minute, that's not right. Oh, that's kind of neat. Because I have one that is absolutely my favorite.
Me too.
So I'm always measuring everyone according to that.
It's just like the cover song comparison episodes we do.
Mm-hmm.
You have to not think of your favorite version and act like it's the first time you've seen it.
And not even really know the story in a sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Because technically every version has rewritten the story a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, except maybe Mickey's.
And actually, the version you're talking about added a lot.
The most accurate version from what I've heard is actually the Muppets.
According to scripting and the scenes
Yeah.
they kept in.
Well, that is one of my favorites.
That is one thing I felt about this one, and this is way back, but I didn't think Tiny Tim was quite pitiful enough.
He didn't quite look sickly enough.
But he kind of made me sad when he didn't get his present.
That made me very
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah, that was sad.
His acting was good.
Yeah.
And they didn't have the best Muppet line. What is it, Elsie?
And Tiny Tim, who did not die.
Yep. That's the best one in the Muppet
Muppets.
version.
Yes.
Tiny Tim also, he is supposed to be, meek. But it does say in the book, he is not happy when his dad brings up to toast to Scrooge. He sets his cup down and isn't very happy.
Well, I think they fixed that.
Yeah, I think
Mhm.
so, because it might be fine for a book, but it would make him look kind of bratty in a movie.
I like the Tiny Tim that wants raspberry dressing, and
Yes.
that's my favorite.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Guys, we gotta stop. Like, we all think that, I'll just say it, that the Alistair Sim version is our favorite. That is not true. Do you know how many times already in this episode we have compared this version to Mr. Magoo's?
It's
Isn't
a
that
musical.
funny?
It's a musical.
Oh,
That's
is that the
why.
excuse?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'll wait till
Uh-huh.
we go to a dramatic version and you start comparing it to Mr. Magoo.
Well, that's probably the first version I watched,
Mm-hmm.
even before Mickey's. I think.
I think so.
Maybe. Oh, I was pretty little when I watched
It's the first version I watched. I know that.
Yeah, and I watched it when it first came out as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
and it was in black and white.
Yeah.
But there was just something magical and exciting about. Maybe it's because it was the theater.
Yeah.
I don't know. And so
Oh.
it sticks with you.
Yep.
It does.
Yep.
And the songs stick with you. So that was our review on the 1971 musical Albert Finney version. We all agree that we do kind of like it.
Yep.
So we are now heading into the non-musical versions of A Christmas Carol.
Mhm.
And of those versions, we're going to start with the George C. Scott version from 1984, I believe.
Yes,
So correct here?
1984.
Okay.
So
So
it probably came out around the time of Last Christmas by Wham.
I guess. That's a random connection.
But it's 1984. That's when Last Christmas came out.
Okay.
she's just throwing out some pop culture facts there from 1984.
All right, let's see how we like the opening. All right, so for the opening scene, what did everybody think?
I did have some notes right off the bat about this Scrooge portrayal.
Mhm.
And he plays him very, like, I feel like very nasty and very sarcastic or snarky, the
Mhm.
word I'm looking for. Like the way that he answers Cratchit.
Mm-hmm.
Very snotty about the clothing.
I think snarky is even too kind. Like, the notes I had is very snide and logical.
Snide is the word I was looking
Yeah.
for. Yes.
Yeah, he
Condescending.
Mm-hmm.
he's
Oh,
more
that's another good word.
mean than crabby.
No, he just
Yeah.
he thinks he's right,
Mm-hmm.
and he sees the world as fools.
Mm-hmm.
Because even when it went to the Freddy part, no one delivers the lines like that, and that was really nasty.
I know
Yeah.
how he had glee
With
out
the
of.
Holly through his heart, that one.
Yeah.
That was kind
Yeah.
of scary.
That was I made a note on that. I'm like, he's like laughing.
Well,
when
that's
he
because
says
he
it.
thinks the people are stupid
Right.
Yeah.
and irresponsible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The
can
only
see
other
that.
thing I thought, and this is on Freddy, I wrote down he wasn't jolly enough. I prefer he was very meek and like sad. He seemed very sad.
I
Freddy
wouldn't,
did.
yeah, I
did
wouldn't say
notice that.
I wouldn't say he was meek, but I would say he played it like he's weary, like
Yeah.
he's coming, and why is he trying to convince him in a way?
Which I think was a good response to the way that
Mm-hmm.
Scrooge was talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to be jolly when somebody's being in that tone.
Oh, yeah.
It's easily led into you be just tired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Didn't really like Cratchit's response.
The applause?
Yeah, I think he was too much. He should have just did because very mild and
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
So his big response to anything would be, "Hooray!"
Right.
Mhm.
A little.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
it says that he applauded in the book, but I do think the guy, he's almost too gutsy about it.
Too gutsy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because when he looked at him, then he got all meek and everything.
Mhm.
It's that's not.
Mm-mm. I agree
But
with that.
I don't know if that guy was the best character to be Cratchit.
Cratchit? I mean, I think he has the look, but he does have a little bit more strength than
Well,
most
I've seen
Cratchits.
him in other things.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, and you guys have too if you realize it.
You should
Oh,
look
I'd
up
have to
who
look
the
it up.
actor is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. He would have been a good Cratchit. I mean, a good Scrooge.
Oh.
Mhm.
I could see that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had a very hard time because coming right off of the Albert Finney version, that Cratchit was very good.
Mm-hmm.
So I almost felt like I was comparing it to him a little bit.
Yeah.
But
As far as the actual opening, though, I liked it. I
They
know,
did
I know when
start-
I 1st
Mhm.
watched it, they started it out, and the fog they had, the setting, it gave you the right feeling. Even the carolers were subtle enough,
Mm-hmm.
it gave you really old England feel.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. How does everybody feel about Scrooge having that interchange with that exchange with Tiny Tim?
I like it. I really do like it.
This is the only version where he meets Tiny Tim before.
Yeah, I think I got confused last time and thought this one was the other one.
Yeah,
the
no,
Albert
Finney. The kids are at the toy shop and they've been out
Mhm.
singing.
Right, but
Yeah.
he's actually, well, first of all, Tiny Tim is adorable in
Yes,
this
in
one.
this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I actually think more versions should cast him like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's Tiny Tim, and a lot of time they have this larger boy. You know what I mean? He
Mhm.
should be very little.
Yeah, I thought
Like
this
Mr. Magoo, right?
this Tiny Tim was adorable.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And very, very sweet, even to Mr. Scrooge. I thought that gave a nice dynamic.
Yeah, and that also sets Scrooge up for, because he had that exchange, and even though he's bitter and that, it still went into his ear and eye gate that Tiny Tim was that innocent and sweet towards him, even though he's bitter. So when it comes later and he sees him, with the different ghosts, there's more of a connection and sympathy towards Tiny Tim.
There should be.
There should be.
Yeah, I wasn't fond of it, him seeing Tiny Tim, because I feel like you can use that as a pivotal point of him seeing this small child. I feel like it's a little bit more of a shock
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know how it's depicted in the book in that sense, but he doesn't seem to even make the human connection that Cratchit has a family.
Yeah.
So this, again, just solidifies the fact that this guy is very cold.
Right,
Mhm.
right. I think it fits for the way that he is playing Scrooge.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, the way he's portraying him, he could not have even, registered that it was Cratchit's kid.
Mm-hmm. He did talk about him, but he could just.
Right.
He
Would
could've
he have
forgot,
remembered once
yeah.
he got home?
Right. True.
Because he doesn't care.
He obviously has a kind heart and has been taught well.
Tiny Tim, yeah.
Tiny
Mhm.
Tim. George C. Scott, Scrooge in this, he's just obviously devoid
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
of any feeling whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
By his choice rather than by circumstance, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like some Scrooges, it's more he's just gotten hard because he's trained himself. This is how life is.
Mm-hmm.
This is like he's done. He's purposely being hard
He's decided.
and cruel.
I think too it's kind of like the other, I don't know how to describe this, and this is a second time watching this scene.
Mm-hmm.
I have to give him kudos on his acting, that he's so natural in it coming across.
Yes.
Does that make
Mhm.
sense? That
Yeah.
this person is fully settled with who he is,
Mm-hmm.
and that he's justified and right
Mhm.
in the way that he acts.
Yep.
And people are stunned by the way that he acts.
Yeah, especially at the stock exchange
Mm-hmm.
when he goes
He
there.
plays it very calm, cool, and collected, where some of them have more bark to it.
Yeah, because even the ones that do a great job are still saying the line a little, I don't know, like it's from a book almost, if
They-
you know what I mean.
They
He
play
didn't say it like it was a line.
Mm-mm.
Sometimes they play him more like a caricature
Mm-hmm.
than an actual person. He's playing it very real.
He's just playing it as this is who he is.
Right.
Whereas the other ones have, like you said, have come through something to just say, I'm closing the door on the world.
Right.
Mhm.
And, they're tedious.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
He's like he's walking among fools all the time.
Mhm.
That they have no purpose except to serve him, of
Right.
course, in his business. And he's devoid of all feeling.
Yeah,
Mhm.
very
Mhm.
jaded.
I don't even think
I don't
he's
know.
jaded. He's not jaded.
Because that requires some sense of that something was once good.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, no, he's just, I don't know. I mean, the rest of the movie will show you how he got there, but yeah, he's very self-satisfied.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why his portrayal made me the most mad at first. Like, I disliked this Scrooge the most out of the ones I watched. Not saying I disliked his acting, saying he made me dislike the character in the beginning
Yeah,
Yes.
he does.
Yes.
the
Mhm.
most.
You can't even hardly love to hate him. You hate him that much.
Well, there is. I don't even know if you could hate him. There's just nothing there in him.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good
You
point.
know, I mean, you could get miffed like they did at the what is that, the stock exchange,
Mm-hmm.
and even kind of look at him like, did I just hear what I heard?
Yeah.
You know, out of him. But unless he's taking your wife and child and throwing him in the, workhouse or whatever, then you could probably dredge up some hatred for him. But other than that, that's why I get almost with Timmy there, that feels sorry for him.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I did get
yeah.
that.
Yeah, that kid is a great actor.
Yeah, the way he walks and everything looks
Mhm.
very much like he has an actual limp. And it was interesting on that note where you say he feels sorry for him, because he actually thanked him for who knows what, really. Just for
Mhm.
stopping and talking to him. That was it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that's out of politeness too.
Uh-huh.
But he has a gentle heart, and that's those two really can contrast each other.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
It was an interesting aspect the way that they scripted it, because he thought he was a baker,
Mm-hmm.
and Tim, in his Tiny Tim way, was like, "No, I have a name."
right.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
He claimed his father's authority, and it's like, "No, I'm a person, not just somebody
Mm-hmm.
trashing your street."
Yeah.
Mhm.
Which is how Scrooge is approaching him.
Mhm.
But he still didn't give him any
Mm-mm.
No,
comfort.
Mm-mm.
no.
Yeah, interesting.
All right, let's move on to Marley.
Well, I don't know how I felt the second time as far as actually Marley goes. I
Mhm.
had written that I felt like he was a little bit underwhelming. I think he did a good job. It's hard
Mhm.
for me not to compare Marley's to my favorite.
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought he did a very good job.
He looks dead.
Yeah, he looked dead, and he looked like, pay attention to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he had the intensity that this Scrooge needed.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
was thinking that because at first I remember we did discuss that he was a little more angry than they usually put across, but I think that is what this Scrooge needs to get through to him.
Mm-hmm.
A key point in playing Marley is
You've played Marley?
okay, in watching someone play Marley and analyzing the character of someone playing Marley, is his reactions have to match what Scrooge is feeling, because he knows Scrooge.
Yeah,
He has to act like he knows Scrooge and how Scrooge is going to react.
Right.
true. What's going to get through to Scrooge
Mhm,
more
because
so?
he's probably the one person who knew him best.
I think that's too overthinking. I think he's coming directly from what he's experiencing.
Well, that's
Yeah.
true.
I think he would be that, and how dire of a situation it is, because Scrooge is not a young man,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I think he was there to tell how it is out there, and I think he
Mm-hmm.
did that very well. I liked it because you could see or feel the dread and sorrow, I
Mhm.
believe, in this one too, of not being able to ever fix it.
Right. A
Mhm.
lot of anger at himself.
And you plead with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
if you can see, it's like the rich man.
Yeah, I think we
Mhm.
said that in the last one.
The rich
Yeah.
man and Lazarus in the Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pleading.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's what has always got me about one of the lines, and not every version does this, but when Marley says that his chance for hope is being visited by 3 spirits, and Scrooge asks, "Is that the only hope I have?" And he says, "Then I'd rather not." I mean, the level of pride there
Oh yeah,
that I would
Mhm.
just rather not.
See, that's what I was saying about him living in his own world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This was a very scary situation. I don't. He knew he was awake, so it wasn't like a dream.
Right.
Right.
But he's blaming it on the food he ate. I don't know. I've eaten some bad food, and I've never had a ghost come in and talk to me that way. So,
True.
you know, he's so about himself that he can't even believe that this could be happening to him.
Right.
That there would be something that he would have to change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's exactly
Yeah, that
how
was
he's
his
playing
exact
it.
reaction.
That
know?
that is this Scrooge because I don't. Maybe there is, but I don't think I remember in other versions him making that comment where he says, "Yep, must be the food."
Well, yeah, and it
I
really-
think
at the-
again. I
after he
think Mr.
leaves.
Magoo does.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, but not the same way. No
Uh-uh.
other Scrooge does it that way.
no, because he's oh well that and shake it off so easily.
Yeah, he does.
know.
Nothing phases him.
no,
And the one thing I did notice that we mentioned about the Albert Finney one that he went and checked the door and it was locked. I think they tried to portray that here because he did go and look at the locks. He should have tried the door because that is what made it stand out to me in the Albert Finney one that it relocked.
Oh, that actually did relock.
Right, so
yeah.
it made him question: did it happen? Did it not?
Yeah, I suppose so. But he also has this level of confidence that he was
Yeah.
going to check, but he wasn't going to demean himself to actually being afraid that
True,
it was. You
true.
know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah.
He wouldn't fully need to go there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, there is an extreme difference between these two Scrooges. The one that we watched last and this one, it's like they're total opposites because Albert Finney was so scared.
Yes.
Well, everything about him was scared, but his confidence level is extreme.
Mm-hmm.
the song "Amazing Grace" popped in my head because actually he has no fear.
Right.
So the Marley character is actually bringing grace into his life in a sense to show him and to teach him to fear
Yes.
because you have and actually that's kind of the bedrock of this that grace teaches you to fear and grace your fears relieve.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, of course, it's in the sense of what the Lord did for us.
Yeah.
If you can't be afraid of, not be afraid, that's not the word I want, but have a reality
Yeah.
of who you are and your situation, you know, that's what, as a child, you learn that if you walk out into a street, you're going to get hit.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
That's a
you
good fear.
and that was the grace my parents, you know, gave me. That don't do that. That's going to hurt.
Right.
You know.
And in them telling you that relieves your fear because if you listen to what they say,
You're safe.
you're safe and you don't
Right.
have no
If
reason to
you're
fear.
obedient, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
George C. Scott's it makes an interesting Scrooge. I think.
Yes.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
a different take.
Yeah. The one thing I liked about I think they've actually did this on other Scrooges, but when he can't talk because you know they tied their mouth up so because your jaw automatically
With Marley.
yeah drops when you die you know, so they used to tie him up and when he takes it down and his jaw drops
Yeah.
and then when he has to leave he has to
Close it up.
hike it back up again.
Yep.
This one and there was another one.
I think it actually was the musical with Kelsey Grammer
Yeah.
where they did that. And I think there was one other.
And his jaw
Patrick's-
really stretched down.
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart is the one that really stretches
Oh,
down.
it
Oh,
is?
is
yes.
it?
Yes.
Yeah, his is
Okay.
the one that because Alistair Sims doesn't and Royal Dano doesn't and Mr. Magoo's.
They all have the tie, but to actually make the point, it just re-emphasizes that he's dead.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how many people would really know that now? You
That
know,
that's what they used to
that
do.
Why why do you have a bandage on your head?
I always thought it was like, like a toothache thing.
yeah.
Like dead people have toothaches.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, that is an interesting emphasis when they do that.
Now, I read it and not the whole book, but I read this part and I know how it goes in the book. Do you like it better when the bell doesn't physically ring, like doesn't shake, or when the bell actually starts shaking? This is when Scrooge gets home before Marley appears.
I think it would scare me more if the bell shook with nobody there.
It'd get your attention more. But it is true that if it's sitting right next to you and ringing without any movement, that'd be pretty freaky too.
Because it is a little different. These ones are like servant bells.
Right.
The one in like I think you're referring to Alistair Sim. His is like a
handbell.
A handbell, yeah.
Yeah, it eventually shows the servant bells. But he has a couple because there's the little handbell sitting on the table. There's the grandfather clock. And then there's the servant bells, I believe, that start ringing.
Yeah. So in the book, it does shake. It starts swinging.
Yeah, that would scare me more. Because if he could say that, it's outside or something else because it's...
Especially in an apartment building like he lives in. So, I mean, someone
True.
else could be shaking it. That's true.
Yeah,
I do think if you're going to do the aspect of it not actually ringing,
Mm-hmm.
you need to have it close by like they do in the Alistair Sim version.
Right. If you're not
Yeah.
going to show it,
Because
then it has
there's
to
no mistaking. If there's a bell right next to you and it's ringing,
be that loudly.
there's no way you are going to blame that on the person downstairs.
I also like the fact that they show cobwebs, not just little cobwebs,
No.
but big cobwebs, because it gives you an idea that he's living in a dead situation in a sense.
Yes.
One thing I thought was interesting, so they did this one in the Albert Finney to show the hearse, the ghost hearse. Okay? But I almost like better how they did it in this one because he wasn't home yet. And he saw it outside, and you almost think it's a real
Yeah.
hearse until it just kind of disappears.
And it's hard to tell because the fog, but it has a more ghostly coloring to it than the one that they showed physically in the beginning. In the very beginning, it shows a hearse when the narrator is saying Marley was dead as a doornail. And this is like the ghost version of that.
In fact, it's kind of like a precursor to what's going to happen to him.
I know.
Yeah.
It's almost telling, foreshadowing to the end
Yeah.
where they're bringing him.
So it's interesting that some skip that and some don't. Because in the book, it talks about how when he brings it up, he's in the house. He's talking about how wide the staircase is. So he's saying that a coach and 6 could fit up the staircase. So that's why Scrooge may have thought he saw one. That's summarized, but that's how Dickens puts it. That you don't know if he actually saw it, if he's just getting spooked because he has already seen Marley in the door knocker, so...
So that's more like the Albert Finney version where it's in the house.
Yes, but it's going up the stairs.
Interesting.
Oh, I had one more thing on Marley. I kind of liked that he said when he was talking about the ghosts, when he said the first will come at 1, the second will come at 2, and the third in his own good time.
Because it's the future
It's the
and
future.
it's his death.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell it.
And now that does kind of give a precursor. It doesn't make it totally fatal to Scrooge, I guess, because, he's saying you can change it. So I'm not sure if I kind of like it, him saying that.
It does make it even more mysterious.
And that the future takes you by surprise.
But he is also telling Scrooge right there, he's going to come in his own good time. That means this is not necessarily the way it's going to be, but this is how he might come.
I think it's more, he needs to be ready.
Yeah.
Prepared,
He needs to be prepared to face that one.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at the Ghost of Christmas Past.
Now that I'm watching it again, I realized the first time, it's good to review these a second time, because I realized the first time I was doing a lot of comparison.
Yeah.
Now I'm starting to see them as individual movies and portrayals. This past experience and the way they walk him through it really explains how he handles things and why he looks at things he does. When he went as a child, he was defending his actions, saying, nothing hurt. I had my books. So to go and create his own reality and live completely settled there, that's how he's handled everything.
Yeah.
That's why he explains away every ghost.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see over and over, like his father, his heart kind of melted there. He felt love, and his father immediately went cold and said, "You're going to go to work."
Right.
So in each instance, he keeps shutting down and then defending his actions for shutting down.
And living in a non-reality
Right.
because of the books showed that, and they do mention the books in the story.
One thing I like about the ghost of Christmas Past, sometimes she almost looked younger. You know what I mean? I don't know if it was angles or what. There's definitely something that looked very old about her. But there's also a very young side of her. And that's how it's described in the book, as I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
The personality of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She did give that you don't quite know what you're looking at. Like, even, I mean, you know it's a female playing her, but they didn't make that extremely distinct.
Right.
I think the one scene that was really poignant and telling is when he came out to see his father. He was so excited about it. And then, of course, his father shut him down. But when they were in the carriage,
Yes, I love that
and
scene.
they had him and the young Ebenezer, the father, and George. And what I saw in this was the young Ebenezer was still feeling. The father was distant and cold, I would say, but Ebenezer, the old Ebenezer who was looking in at the carriage, was cynical.
Yes.
And you could see the tad glint of bitterness at his father,
Yeah.
and because you could see it was great shot.
Yeah, it was one frame that explained who he was and why.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good. And I really do like, I have two thoughts on this. I really liked Belle. I liked her
Yes.
acting and her portrayal. The one thing I struggled with is that it showed her kids and being married and that she was happy. I understand that's how it is in the book.
Yep.
I understand that is good to show him what he lost because he's found comfort. He's like, well, at least I have my money. You know, here he actually could see the pain of what he lost. I, being a hopeless romantic, kind of like the fact that she never got married. Some versions leave it that she was kind, she's doing things, but she always kind of had a heart for Ebenezer. I kind of like that, but
Well,
in this one,
still showed it from the comment of when he told her who he was talking about when her husband, you know, said who he saw and the state that Ebenezer was in. And she made that statement. And it showed how old Scrooge still has hurt about it because he said, "I don't need your pity."
That's really the one that made him mad.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that is in the book when he can't stand it anymore and he puts the cap on the spirit.
I don't know. I gotta applaud the acting on this one with Belle because the look on her face when he said about he'd seen Scrooge, he was kind of, I don't know, a little bit jolly that he got her.
Yes.
the husband.
Yes.
She married him.
Yeah. But there was a tinge of not over it when he brought him up, I thought.
I don't know if it was like she was in love with him, but more sad for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess it was the comparison of the joy that the husband had in comparison to her look was basically I felt a little bit of don't be so happy about that.
She knew him before, and he knew him as a grouch and a miser.
The only
Right.
question I have about that, and it could be they just mistakenly cast people that look like. It almost looks like she married.
Dick Wilkins.
Yes, it almost looks like the same actor, which they didn't flat out say, but that would be interesting, especially with the conversation that Ebenezer and Dick had, where he said, "She's too good for you."
I mean, he had his eye on her
Interesting.
before. That would be
Yeah.
interesting.
Now, there's another part. Bed curtains.
Yeah.
I was looking at I thought, that's interesting about bed curtains. Would I like them or would I not? Especially as a child. I don't, you know, some ways it makes you feel closed in and safe, and then it's like sticking your foot out of your blanket at night.
What's
You
going to
know,
grab it?
What's going to grab it, or putting your arm over your bed, on the side of the bed. So I don't know if I would like bed curtains.
I think I would like them. My problem would be is when it stays dark longer, I sleep in longer. It's kind of a problem. I'll leave it.
Logically, now let's look at it that way. Would you like them? Does it make you? Would you think you felt cozy in them, or because he runs back to him? Not in this one particularly, but he runs back to him and thinks that he can hide behind these curtains. Of course, he can't because they blow him away from the bed.
Marley came through a door.
I know.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But he still finds comfort in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
That's what I'm
yeah,
saying.
he does. Yeah.
I don't think it would be a problem because when we were little, we would
I was
set
gonna
up
say
a
that.
blanket fortress around our bunk bed, and I slept on the bottom bunk. And I always thought it was very closed in and cozy.
Yeah, so in a way, we did have bed curtains.
Makeshift bed curtains. Yeah.
Yeah, we would.
They didn't match. They were
No.
various different blankets.
Tinkerbell fleece and
Yeah.
Winnie the Pooh fleece, Miss
Or-
Spider fleece.
Personally, I think I can see what you're saying
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like your mind would be thinking, okay, I'm safe in here, but at the same time, I'm not aware of what's going on outside.
Right.
Is that what you're thinking?
Well, yeah, it kind of reminded me of you don't dare put your hand over your,
Your bed, the
your
monster
bed.
underneath is going to get
Yeah,
you.
you never know. And and even in adulthood, you find yourself going, "Oh, I think I need it up here like I'm safe on the mattress or something."
Yeah.
So I don't know if I would like them or not. I might get used to them.
I think for sure I'd like
And I
them.
know there's certain people in this house that would look through the curtains just to be scare somebody. who,
That I do know.
I wouldn't do that to you.
Oh, why did you say I?
I might do it to Xena.
that
Oh
would be
my
funny.
word! I would jump and hit my head on the top
This
of
is
the bed.
why you could never have bed curtains, Zena. Like, you freak out awake whenever somebody wakes you up
It's true.
anyway. Like,
Even
it's
if you're on the
better-
couch.
It's better if you wake up on your own.
Oh, I can see it.
So just
having her-
somebody, yeah.
yeah, just
You know-
having her face,
Mm-hmm.
through the curtain. That
You know what
would-
would be funny?
Oh
Is it-
no.
yeah.
So,
You d-
Jay Lee stuck her face in. And then Shelly stuck her face in underneath Jay Lee. And then I could stick my face in underneath Shelly. Because that would work with
I
height
might
order.
have a heart attack.
And then we just smile.
This is what it is to be an oldest sister.
It is.
But you didn't do it. You didn't. Maybe it's just my warped sense of what would happen. But you didn't do that with your Tinkerbell blanket.
Well, I had moved to like the top bunk. I don't think I.
Yeah,
when
that would
you
have been
were-
hard to do also with the way we had to do. The curtains wouldn't have stayed up, I don't think.
And also,
And wouldn't shut out all light.
when
I
you were
see.
little, Xena, you didn't really scare awake like you do now.
No. Well, except for one time. This is probably where it comes from. For one of my birthdays,
Oh,
I think it was
no.
my 10th birthday, I got one of those bell alarm clocks, with the two bells. Oh, my word. We had never heard one before, and I set it. I was on the bottom bunk again. Xena slept on the top bunk.
I was in the room for this one.
was
Yeah, I
like
think you
an
had your
old-
toddler bed.
Old time alarm clock with the bells. Yeah.
The
Yep,
metal, yeah.
Yeah.
That thing went off.
You were like a cat.
Xena came flying off of the top bunk.
She didn't use the ladder.
Forget about the ladder. She jumped off the top bunk. It was like, how do you turn this thing off?
So you see, Jaylee, you complain about my wake up song, but I'm getting back. Paybacks.
It's a little different. It is a little different.
Scared me so
I
bad.
wasn't doing it to be malicious. I did get banned from using it again, though, in our room.
Those things are loud. One thing you know, you won't oversleep.
Yep.
Some days for work, I should go back to that.
You wake up with the
Hey, that's an
adrenaline rush.
idea. You could put it out in the hallway.
Oh my word.
And
There you go.
everybody get up running to turn the thing off.
Yep. And then there's so much adrenaline going that you're not
You're
going back
awake.
to sleep.
You know
Yeah.
what? I
Scares you
think that's
that
actually
bad.
honestly a good idea, even though Shelly's over there shaking her head.
You're the one that's hardest to get out of bed. Well, anyhow, I
We digress.
digress.
As always.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see what we think of the Ghost of Christmas Present. Well, I really like this Ghost of Christmas Present.
Yeah, he had more personality.
Yes.
Mhm.
He just wasn't jolly or whatever. He actually interacted with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you could tell he took joy in justice.
Mm.
So it really, really bugged him how Scrooge was acting. And he liked to pick on him about it.
Well, he's the Christmas present, so that
Mhm.
goes contrary to his being.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because Scrooge lives on the past, really. That's why he's bitter.
Well, what I'm saying, his attitude in Christmas present is contrary to this ghost. He is everything that Christmas is not supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. He's anti.
Anti.
Scrooges.
Right.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, it sounded like you were
Sorry,
saying
he's,
the
No.
ghost.
Scrooge is.
He's anti everything the ghost is
Right.
representing.
Yeah, and you see that in conversation.
Yeah, yet Scrooge doesn't think he is.
No,
No.
that's the thing. And
Yeah.
I think I didn't notice the first time as much, but this time watching it, we're starting to get kind of a tussle inside of Scrooge with this
Mhm.
ghost, most of all.
Yes.
Because each time the ghost says Scrooge's words back to him, you actually see a little bit of questioning, which we haven't seen up to this point.
Right. It's less defending himself. He defends himself and then he can't answer the ghost.
Right. Especially, like, it feels like he keeps ending the note, like at the Cratchits, he still ends with, well, at least he has a job and I'm providing it.
Yep.
It's my smarts.
Yep.
And then at the party, well, at least my nephew defended me. But when he comes to the poor and he actually sees someone in pain like that
Mm-hmm.
and realizes the reality of the situation, he can't really face it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He's dealing with it more. So I think that's true. I think it is all about a wake-up call with this one. It's all about realizing he can't just wish things away and make things right in his world, and it'll be okay.
Right, and not viewing other people as just characters or annoyances in his life. Like, the biggest thing is to get him to acknowledge other people as humanity.
Mm-hmm.
And I love how the Ghost Christmas Present directly hit on his level of pride. When he says back to him about Tim, well, why shouldn't he die and decrease the surplus population? In this one, he says, you're using my words against me. And he says, and I'm going to paraphrase, but he says, maybe you'll be a little more careful to think about who actually is the surplus.
Yep.
Not that there is a surplus, but he's making him think,
Right.
what makes you think that you're worth more than someone else in
Right.
reality?
It's by your standard. That's what he says, by heaven's standard, you're probably worth far less than Tiny Tim and a million Tiny Tims.
When I watched the first time, I wrote down 5 stars for the Christmas present. He just does it so well. And he's funny, but he gets his point across. The line I really liked in this one, and I guess I didn't really notice it this time as much, but the first time I really liked how Cratchit said, as good as gold. Better.
He delivered that one well. A lot of people don't deliver it naturally. But yeah,
No.
he really stopped and thought about it.
He is an excellent actor.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen him in other things where he's not very nice.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah. He's supposed to be not very nice.
Right.
Yeah. No, that whole scene with him was very at ease and natural.
Yeah, I think it was better than his portrayal in the beginning, even,
Yes.
of Cratchit.
You could see in this one what a gentle man he is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the family seemed like a real family. I totally believed they
Oh,
were
yeah.
all.
Mm-hmm.
The one interesting twist that they have in this one, and some versions have it, some versions don't, but Cratchit came home and talked to Peter, his oldest son, and was telling him that he met someone who has a job for him. And in this version, it's actually Freddie, Scrooge's nephew, who offered the job.
Which made Scrooge mad.
Yeah.
Because he offered him so much money because he's so generous.
Now,
But
in
he's-
another one, I don't think it was, no, it wasn't this one. I can't remember which one it was. he got offered a job by like Scrooge's nemesis.
I
Oh,
don't
really?
remember that one.
Mm-mm.
You don't?
No. Did you dream it?
Are
I
you
might have
making up
dreamed it.
stories.
No, I can't remember.
Well, that would have the same effect as Freddie offering him.
Yeah,
a bunch
it
of money.
once again shows how the Scrooge takes everything as an affront to him, because he said to the Ghost of Christmas Present, he's like, well, this is to spite me. It's like, no. It's because he knows Cratchit's family. They established that in the beginning. And
Mhm.
Freddie wants to help them out.
Mm-hmm.
It's Freddie's generous heart. That's why
Mhm.
he always invites Scrooge
Yep.
every Christmas, even though he knows he's going to decline.
Yep.
But you're right. Scrooge thinks the world is his enemy and everybody's against him, so he's just going to dismiss them all.
All right, any other thoughts on the Ghost of Christmas Present?
Nope, just that there was a lot of little details in it, but it didn't clog it up. Like
No.
sometimes when movies will try to put details and something little cool like nods and stuff in there, and it's distracting from the storyline.
No, it flowed very nicely.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
One of my favorite lines of the Ghost of Christmas Presents was when Scrooge remarked on the goose.
Yes.
He's like, it's a very small goose, and the Ghost of Christmas Present just got in his face and is like, well, it's all he can afford. It's like, do you get this through your head yet?
And whose doing would that be?
And I liked the handoff.
I
so
did,
far, they did the kids, the ignorance and want, and they got some homely looking kids. I mean,
They were scary.
scary
Yeah.
looking.
Mhm.
But I think that was all done very well, and the Ghost Christmas Present did get very intimidating at the end, which sets the right tone.
Yes. And on the kids, they got them to look like the same person, just different genders.
Yes.
Yeah, they did. I wonder if
Almost
they
not-
are like twins.
Almost not different genders either. It's like it
Almost.
was that same thing as like the Ghost of Christmas Past. You couldn't quite tell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, he says it's a girl and a boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on to the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Be.
He comes in his own good time.
In this version, he does.
My favorite part actually came before The Last Spirit. And I didn't notice this the first time I watched it. He starts breaking down when the Ghost of Christmas Present leaves.
Yeah.
And the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Be is delayed.
Mm-hmm.
And he is all alone.
Mm-hmm.
And from the outside, it looks like he likes to be alone because of how he lives and how he pushes everybody out. But he voices what his whole problem has been all along.
Yep.
When he says, "What have I done to be abandoned?"
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He has to face the accusation that he's been putting at the world.
Because of his father.
Right.
And that's why that was such a powerful scene
Yep.
with the coach, because that came to full realization when
Yep.
he was alone. That all his actions and all his defenses and why he feels settled is because he feels abandoned.
Right.
And I just thought that part was really powerful. And everything leading after that, I feel like, was in light of that statement. I think that his heart is changing.
Yeah.
He kind of puts on that act a little bit when he's scared of the ghost, when he sees what it is,
Yeah.
you know, and tries to
when
act.
he says, "I thought we agreed on taking me home."
Right. It's
Yeah.
like, no, they didn't agree on anything. You agreed.
Yes, that is one thing that I've noticed in this one. Most Christmas carols, every ghost leads Scrooge, even the last one.
Mm-hmm.
This one, the ghost let Scrooge decide.
Mm.
He let Scrooge tell him what he wanted to see and prove what is in. Because it says in the Bible that what's in the heart of a man will proceed out of his mouth.
Yeah, true.
So what Scrooge was saying to him and where he was telling him to go and what to show him,
he basically let it.
it was a test, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Testing his heart, seeing where his heart was.
I thought this was a very good ending as far as the ghosts go. I really had a hard time with the way they made the ghost of Yet to Be. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
His voice?
That one actually ruined the scene the first time I watched it for me.
Well, I can barely listen to it
I know.
because it's like nails on a chalkboard.
Literally,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah,
And
it's almost
I'm thinking that's what they meant.
Mm-hmm.
right.
Mhm.
It's almost better this time though. I didn't have as much of a problem with it.
It's because you expected it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, yeah, it like grates. I can't
I
have it very
think
loud.
I thinks.
You thinks?
I think what it was it was a display of how rusty of a cog Scrooge has been to turn.
Maybe
That's what it
so.
sounds like. Yeah. I have to agree that out of all the versions, I love it when he communicates with a drum sound.
Yes.
My
'Cause it's-
point. My point.
It's still ominous and it gives like an answer when he nods and gives that drum.
Yeah.
But this was, yeah, a little too much.
It gives more authority, actually.
Mm-hmm.
It gives the spirit more authority and more intimidation.
Yeah.
It
I like
shouldn't
that.
be as much like the ring wraiths from Lord of the Rings.
No.
Like they have more of a scream than a, squeaky door
Yeah,
sound.
they're more mournful.
But it shouldn't have that because like we said about in the Albert Finney one, it's really not supposed to be a scary ghost. It's only scary because it's unknown.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not supposed to be demonic.
No.
Mm-mm.
No.
And that there's a tendency to go that way because he's supposed to be Grim Reaper-like.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think what came to the culmination of his life here
Mm-hmm.
was the fact that he is completely alone in this grave. That what he has feared the most is what he's subjected to here. Because if you notice his grave is not anything spectacular, and it's kind of, for some reason it looks like it's by itself.
Yes.
Nobody cares,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean that's what he's actually his whole mannerisms, though he was very together, was the fear of abandonment.
Yeah. That's what it all came down
Protecting himself from that. He was gonna abandon everybody else so he didn't have to be
to.
abandoned.
Didn't feel abandoned.
It was just easier in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and because we all have idols,
Mm-hmm.
and that was his idol, to be able to be self-sufficient,
Right.
and not need
Mhm.
anybody.
Right.
One scene that isn't always put in the versions that is in this version is when he has to go into his own room and see a body on the bed. I thought that one was interesting. It does put across in this version that he knows where this is going.
Yes.
But he
More
keeps
so,
denying it
right.
like he always has.
Right. More so than other Scrooges. Like Albert Finney, it's dynamically different. He's so oblivious,
Mm-hmm.
that he joins in the song and dance about his death. But
Right.
this Scrooge knew exactly where this was going.
Because it's bringing him out of, like you said, his idol or his go-to all his life. Even with the maid selling his stuff, it's hitting reality. He's admitting, this is my stuff. She stole it. And then when it really comes to realizing that this means he's dead, he goes, it must be somebody's stuff that's just like mine.
Yeah, just close to
Yeah.
it.
So he goes right back into that shutting down so he can cope.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a really powerful version, and I feel like it's a version that's better watched slowly and more than once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And not after watching 50 other different versions,
Right.
right? It's the only con to doing these episodes is it's like it does start to mush together the different versions.
I always say it's like going to, a candle outlet or a candle shop and you're smelling all the different scents. You need coffee beans for your brain to, separate the...
The scents, yeah.
Yeah, stick on a Waltons in between or something.
All right, let's see how he does the changed, new, and improved Scrooge.
Well, this made me cry. It's a very good ending.
And I hate it when you cry because I can't look at you because I'll do it.
I know, and then we're a mess over here. But genuinely, he wasn't like a lot of them do the super happy, bubbly, like losing his mind over happiness. But there was so much like sincerity in his repentance. Like, I mean, there is a lot of repentance in this Scrooge.
Right.
Well, it's like his Krabby isn't the normal Scrooge, so it would have looked fake if he was overjoyed.
Yeah.
No, it would definitely look like relief here.
Mhm.
It did definitely, yes.
Yeah. And the scene, although it's not my favorite rendition, it still is done very well. The scene when he comes in with Freddie and Freddie's wife. The
I-
dialogue really is powerful.
I had a thought on that. I think Freddie did a phenomenal job, and George C. Scott did as well. I thought the acting was a little lacking on his wife's part.
I thought that the first time I watched it too.
Mm.
I didn't think it. She didn't react like other portrayals of her did, but she was. You could tell she was bitter towards him
Oh yeah.
more so than even
And
others I've seen.
Yeah, not trustworthy of him.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you trying to pull here?
Yeah. But I think he won her over in his genuineness.
I guess there should have. I just didn't get as a soft of a look as one of our favorites versions.
She softened up a lot more. You know, she had to see mainly when Freddie
Responded.
responded,
Yeah.
like because he was even little like I don't know about this.
Because I think that also comes from how snotty and mean he was at the first. He could have done that at first and acted like he was being that way and then pulled something.
Yeah, you didn't really know because he was the kind of person to straight-faced, like, put you down without, you know.
And the thing is, she'd never met him.
True.
She's going solely off of what Freddie has and other people have said about him. And he didn't give her the caring to even want to meet her.
I don't know how it's worded in the end of the book, but I loved how he had 3 things he had to apologize for with Freddie, and it was all the conversation and, of course, not meeting his wife. And when he said about the conversation the previous day, he said, I have to apologize for calling Christmas and everything to do with it a humbug, because that was a humbug. I didn't know it at the time, but it is.
And he had to admit that he looked like his sister.
Yes.
That Freddie looked like
Yeah,
fan.
that was
And that was the part that really I lost it when he was saying how much he loved his sister.
well, it's acknowledgement that he is even a family member.
Right. Right.
Because he really didn't do that in the beginning.
Mm-mm.
No.
He
No.
told him to get out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll bring up one little quirky thing
Mm-hmm.
that I wished that all the renditions would do. I'm sure it's not in the book, but
I don't think
who has said you can't add something to this is not in the book, right?
You're right. It obviously has been done.
I wished that they would have shown the inside of his house, and that maybe he made it brighter and not dirty, of course.
Cleaned it up, yeah.
And people have enjoying themselves.
Yeah.
That would be a nice touch because we'd all like to see how he renovated it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's us, right? Put some carpet on those floors.
Let's have a little HGTV here.
Right.
With
Yeah.
color. Yeah. No, that would be interesting because you know he didn't keep living the way he was living.
Yep.
No.
If his heart changed, then his surroundings changed.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Overall, this, I have to say, is an excellent version.
Yeah. More
Yep.
than I thought it was the first time I
Me
watched
too.
it.
Me too. It's not a version you can do something and watch at the same time if you want the full impact. Because I noticed there was a lot of little nuances. So it's a
That you don't catch.
It's a sit down and pay attention to a movie.
Yep.
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 Yeah, and it would be really cool in a theater. I think you'd catch even more
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
seeing it on a big screen.
And George
C. Scott.
C. Scott. I always want to say George Papard for some reason. It's weird. But anyhow, he did an excellent job.
He did.
Yep. Yeah. And now that I'm looking back introspectively at each of the versions, you have to give it to all the actors for not copying each other, for taking an individual spin on Scrooge. In each storyline, we get kind of a different Scrooge with a different struggle, even
Yep.
though it's all the same theme.
Yep.
So I really like that.
Well, I think that this is a good version, and the Albert Finney version we liked as well. In our next episode, because it looks like we're gonna have to do part 3. So stay tuned and call in. You know who you are. Your favorite version is gonna be coming up here pretty soon. So we're gonna wrap up this episode. And stay tuned for part 3. Hope you enjoyed it. Let us know what your favorite version of the Christmas Carol is and what your thoughts were on the 2 that we reviewed in this episode.
Yeah. Thank you for listening, and we will talk to you in the next episode.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye. God bless us, everyone.